channels. My name is Jesse Nelson. I am normally the producer of this show. Today I am the cousin sub of the day, hosting alongside the Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer at his undisclosed location, Mark Tauscher. Hunter Vaughn, by the way, our cousin sub of the day, producing the show. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Tausch, good morning. Happy cold day to you. How are you?
Yeah, a lot of stuff canceled. Tell me if I'm wrong. I know I've been a little raspy the last couple. Do I sound better than I did
today.
yesterday?
You sound normal today. Yeah.
So you know what's interesting? Because as I was talking with my wife and Eleanor this morning, I said, hey, do I sound – because I feel a lot better. Yesterday, if I'm being honest, if I was you, I would have taken off.
Yeah.
I was I felt crusty.
I feel fantastic.
And, Well, it obviously didn't sound
wasn't
that
bad. That's legendary bad.
No, it wasn't even. It wasn't even close.
You were under the weather though yesterday. I think everyone listening understood, but you could power through.
So, yeah, and I was going to come in studio today, and obviously I didn't want to get you sick. And they said, no, you sound the same. So then I'm kind of like, well, what are you talking about? I said, I know I feel better, and I sound better. So it's miserable out. This is. These are those days that I think everybody, claims Wisconsin is like all the time. And if I'm being honest, I don't mind that people feel that way because I like Wisconsin the way it is. These are part of the days. It's better. This will sound crazy, but this is better than when we had all that nice snow and then we had that stretch where it got to be 50 degrees and muddy and mucky in the middle of, or the early part of January. I prefer this in January than I do with the muck. And I know that is, most people are going to say you're nuts. That's just how I feel.
844-770-3776 is the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. List is more. I did want to take a moment here before we dive further into this to say hello, because we may have a new audience joining us today. Those who are off of school or home from work and aren't able to join us on a regular basis. A lot of things canceled across the entire state of Wisconsin today. So welcome to the show if you are new to us today. I'm not normally in this chair. Normally, I am the producer of the show, Jason Wilde, three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year. Normally, the host of the show. He is not here today. As far as I know, I don't know if he's busy putting the little booties on the dogs like he talked about doing yesterday or what he's up to. But the plan is not for him to join us today. He was on standby if you were under the weather.
Yeah, he needs a day. He always is complaining. The show can't function. And listen, we love Jason. He is great on the show. I want to make sure I preface that. But you can take a day. Oh, my wife says I should. Take a beat. I'm glad Jason's got the day. It's hilarious to me that he's sitting there putting, little poochie boots on his dog to go out because they're so cold. That to me, whatever. Dogs.
In fairness, it is the responsible thing to do on days like this. Now, do you do it when it's like 15 degrees outside? No, I wouldn't.
There has to be a temp where you don't take the dog out. You just let the dog.
I got yelled at for opening the door to let our dog out at 9 o'clock last night. You cannot let the dog. It's freezing. I said he has to pee somewhere. Dog has to go pee.
You should have sang "Who Let the Dog Out."
Well,
you should have just sang that song.
But we knew it was me. I was opening the door. Becca woke up. She fell asleep watching a show. She wakes up. She goes, "You can't let the dog." I'm like, "What do you mean he can't let the dog? He has to go potty."
Yeah, you got to let the dog out at some point. The booties, while weird if you don't have a dog, you realize that if they can tolerate having it on their paws, they need them because it gets bad.
And especially you get the salt on the road. Right. Yeah. It's for their protection, Tausch. There's a responsibility to putting the booties on the dog.
Tausch isn't quite a dog guy yet. We're getting there.
I'm not
quite yet.
I am getting closer. Augie being down here a bunch the last 4 or 5 weeks has kind of won me over a little bit. So who knows? I'm saying we're closer than ever. I know Eleanor is not listening today, so I can say that, even though everybody's off of school. Quick question for you boys.
Sure.
This is a big point of contention for me, so I want you to answer honestly. When you have let's call it, it's not a coupon, a certificate. I'm not giving out any free advertising. For a potential airline. And the date of expiration is 1/31. Do you need to book the ticket by 1/31, or do you need to fly by 1/31? How would you interpret that? Go.
Okay, I've never been in this situation. We have had certificates for an airline before, but we used it well before the date that was the expiration date.
Even though they black out every blank, black out every blank and date, make it almost impossible. Okay, continue. I want to make sure I preface that.
My understanding would be it would be whenever your time of payment would be due for your flight.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of what I thought.
If you're booking a flight now for a trip in May, the expiration date of 1/31, you could use it now and it would suffice. That would be how I would interpret that, never having been in that situation before.
See, my assumption would be you have to. I would want it to be, if I book it before 1/31, I'm good. But knowing the way that airlines operate, they're going to be like, no, you have to fly out before 1/31 for it to count.
So why do you ask?
We're all on the same page. We're all on the same page because if you go, and Cousin Subs, great partner, they have vouchers that they do and deals. And in all honesty, most of these food places will give you some grace because they want your business. Right? They want your business. So if you go to any of these fast food joints and they have a coupon or a voucher, you use it. You usually buy other stuff. Everybody is pretty content. Well, I go and I have a couple of trips coming up, mainly because I want to watch Landman. It's not even anything else. I have put myself in this box. I hear everybody talking about how great Landman is. It's freezing cold out, so I want to go. I want to get a little traveling. You know I love traveling.
I just want to fly around the world just so I can catch up on season 2 of Landman.
So we have, and I will not say the name of the airline because I'm just not going to do that, but I have a certificate that you pay a big boy annual fee on to have. Tried to use it, blackout dates, etc. I'm looking at going somewhere. Matter of fact, I'm going down. We're going to go down to Oklahoma because it's one of the states Sarah hasn't been to. Going to go see our buddy Brandon in Tulsa. He sent you a nice itinerary of things to do. We can hit a national park while we're. It's a nice little because with high school sports, you can't take the long spring breaks that we like to do.
Can't do it. Yeah.
So we're not doing that. So I'm all set, and I go in, and this was a couple days ago, and this airline says, no, you have to fly by this date. And I'm like, well, what the hell are you talking about? No, that's not what I. So I get into this whole deal because I don't know if you know this. I get stuck on some things, and I would say it's a principle. And it is, because it bothers me to no end. This thing, I am not going to spend hours, because in the grand scheme of things, this is going to end up being $400 or $500. While I want to save that $400 or $500, I'm irritated. Like, I'm irritated on top of irritated that I feel like I got. Because I did. I got. And I'm not blaming anybody but me and the fact that the airline blacks out all these dates. But whatever. I'm blaming me. They refuse to let me. So I try to, and I'm not trying to pull anything, but I then call and say, here's the deal. There's this huge storm going through the plains. And basically, these airlines are all giving vouchers to change the flight because nobody's going to fly. Because everything's going to get delayed. It's going to be a hot mess.
Yeah, they're already canceling flights all around the region this weekend.
Exactly. Yeah. So what I then did was, okay, I will book this flight because you're forcing me to get it booked and flown before the 31st. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm calling in and saying, oh, we got this voucher. The storm's bad. They say you can do that, but you still have to fly by the 28th.
Oh, no.
They'll give you the 3 days. I said, but I can't fly those 3 days. So after a lot of battling and competing, and I'm telling you, I competed and I battled and I battled and I competed, I got TKO'd.
No, you lost?
Yeah, and trust me, I couldn't be more disappointed in myself.
No.
I'm not going to put this loss in the same category. I'm not going to put this loss in the same category as 4th and 26 or Oostburg versus Auburndale, or like there's some losses that will go to me with my grave. Those are some. This one's going to be with me for a while. This stung. So much so, I am done with this credit card. I'm done. It's over. Donezo. I have retired. My irritation level, the utter arrogance of this, and the fact that they gave no grace, I flashed the deuces, and I took this loss, and I'm telling you, till the 31st of January, I'm taking this loss hard. I'm moving on, but it is non-sports related loss of just competing and thinking I could win. This is a tough loss for me. So I think the whole thing is complete crap. Wow. I think it's mishandled. I think it's butchered. I don't know how many other ways I can put it, but I am disgruntled beyond belief. But I am going to continue on the show. But I wanted to make sure I let you know that because it's occupied a little too much of my headspace the last couple of days.
I can tell you're very frustrated about it. Very
frustrated.
I think you should be frustrated about it. I don't think you're in the wrong in any of this. 844.
I was convinced both of you were going to say that I was in the wrong.
No.
And I'm glad. And especially Hunter's always looking.
Yeah, Hunter's kind of your nemesis.
I don't want to say
on stuff
discredit.
like this. Yeah.
He's always trying to, poo-poo what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're a pretty
There's
big
nothing wrong
old
with
T
that,
nemesis.
Hunter. I don't mind a little. I like a little foil. I think a little foil's good. So I
didn't think I was that bad. I'm going to have to re-examine the way that I approach things with you.
Hunter may have been the guy on the other end of the phone that Tausch was talking to yesterday, apparently, trying to figure out this flight situation. I thought you were about to ramp up that you got a big victory in a come-from-behind fashion by saying that you were able to navigate all right, I called, I booked a flight, and then, the flight got canceled, and they end up giving you I thought you would get a victory there.
So the first person that I called could not have been ruder and just completely blech. Then I went with a different approach. I went with the empathy approach, and this gal couldn't have been nicer. She tried. She gave effort. And typically companies want to, be good business partners. Airlines are not in that business. So that's the disgruntling part. I'm disheartened, but I will move on. I will persevere. And now I'm looking for I'm not looking for anything. I'm just resigned, and that is a bad place to be. Where old T is resigned, I don't get in that area very often. But this beat me into submission, and it makes me sad. But the good news is it's cold, so I can just stew on it all day because there's nothing else to do. So there we go.
Tough break for you. 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line.
How many people would take the airline side? I get there's expiration dates. I don't think there should be on gift cards. You're paying the money. They're getting interest on your money. There's a ton of things that go into it. Like lottery tickets. The fact you have to, get them paid off in 6 months or you don't get it.
You've shared the thought on the lottery tickets, yeah.
This, I think, is I don't want to go down because this, when you have an expiration date, it should be used by, not flown by. Am I crazy to say that? I'd like to hear what people have to think.
I have one question that I didn't ask you because you were on a roll, and I am on your side. I want you to know I'm on your side. I do have a question.
Where's the Hamilton soundtrack?
When did you get the gift certificate?
No, so it is a credit card certificate you get. You get 12 months. The problem is the times you want to use it. What are you shaking your head about?
Go ahead.
You get 12 months to use it. Half the time you can't use the flights you want because they're blacked out. And then it's certain areas and times you can't do it. So you can't use it multi-city. So that part, if you're flying somewhere and you're going to fly somewhere else. So there's various parts that you can't do. And so that's where it's at. So you do get 12 months to organize and book the ticket. But you really don't. You really get 5 months because people plan their trip out, And then you have to get it, so you have to get it flown by. So you're not getting 12 months. You're probably getting 5 months to book it.
12 months is a long time and a long window for you to try and capitalize on.
Do you understand that you don't get 12 months?
Yeah,
though,
I understand. You've made that point. It's a good point.
When you booked your trip to Hawaii, did you book it, or did you book it 6 months out? You didn't book it 3 days
You book it
before
multiple months in advance, of course. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
We also canceled our trip to Hawaii because of COVID restrictions, so we still haven't gone on our official honeymoon yet. In the YouTube comments here, the dwellers are chiming in. Just get points for purchases. People brag about their frequent flyer miles. I just get points money and then buy any ticket you want with no blackouts.
So whoever said that, whoever told you that in YouTube, totally agree. Totally agree. Airline certificates, they're useless. I'm out. I'm done. They're dead to me. It's over.
Are you happy that you got this off your chest? I feel like you needed this session here. So I'm glad we did
helped.
this.
I'm still very, very frustrated, and I'm frustrated with myself. Very frustrated with myself.
You're more frustrated with the airline, though, if we're being honest. You're more frustrated with the airline than you are with yourself.
Yeah. I think it's a sham. I think it's shammy.
You didn't start this by saying I made a mistake and didn't get this done. You're very clearly coming for the airline, folks.
I started, where's my little Truman? I started with my little Truman.
I
Trumaned up. It's on me.
That's what I heard.
Because I'm the one that's paying.
Rob Demovsky's coming up, bottom of the hour, 9:30. He's scheduled to appear. That means we should probably take a commercial break here pretty soon. Talking Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator search. Also going to ask you about the best moment of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season throughout the course of today's show. That's up on the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed and our Wilde and Tausch Facebook page. You can chime in on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line, in the YouTube comments, wherever you can get in on the show, wherever you may be tuned in, hopefully from the warmth of your home as you join us here today on Wilde and Tausch. Tausch, it's going to be warmer in your home if you've got those great windows from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Indeed, and for your New Year's resolution, the sky is the limit. Pella's 0 interest for 4 years finance offer. No payments, no interest for 4 years. No expiration date on that. You get 4 years. You don't have to worry about all that other stuff. Think of everything you can do in 4 years. You can not redeem a certificate. You can get a college degree. You can raise your toddler till they're ready for school. Start your own journey toward meeting your personal goals and enjoy Pella's highest quality products with exclusive features custom made for your home. This deal ends January 31st. So schedule your free consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Someone nationally said something nice about the Packers defensive coordinator position. We'll touch on that before we get to Rob Demovsky. Coming up, Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
Here's the only question that counts. Everything else is crap. Will Ed Policy be able to walk out on the field with Matt LaFleur as the head coach?
The best 60 minutes of your day happens on the Homer Hour.
It could get worse, but can you put that guy in charge of the team and give him an extension?
Weekday afternoons from 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin App, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1 day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
5 ESPN.
Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. No Jason. He is on assignment. He'll be back on Monday. ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter Rob Demovsky scheduled to appear coming up next. Get your bets in now on what words Rob will say that shouldn't be said on the radio.
I love the coos. The coos on Twitter. Make sure you let us know what time Demovsky's on so I can make sure my kids are in the car.
I can assure you, Rob will not share any profanities or expletives with us this week.
How are you assuring that? You assured that last week and you were wrong.
Rob and I we were catching up this week, and I think he he knows that he stepped a little over the line last week, and I will be good this week. You know,
his passion was awesome last week.
It was fantastic.
Great passion.
I recommend going back and still checking it out over at the ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels. We're going to ask Rob about the defensive coordinator search as that continues for the Packers up in Titletown. Interesting over at ESPN.com, a couple of national writers, Jeremy Fowler and Ben Solak, ranked the top 4 openings right now for offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators around the National Football League. They ranked the openings. When it comes to defensive coordinator, number 4, the New York Giants. Number 3, the Los Angeles Chargers. Number 2, the San Francisco 49ers. And the number 1 ranked defensive coordinator opening, the Green Bay Packers. Theoretically, Tausch, to me that would say that the Packers have their pick of the litter of all the best defensive coordinator options available on the market. You would want to come to Green Bay if it's the best ranked opening available, which means this search may take a little longer because there's a bunch of names that are going to be involved. Is that what that ranking says to you?
What it says to me is it's the best opportunity for a coach to come in You just saw Jeff Hafley get a head coaching job. You have autonomy. Your head coach is not going to be sitting there meddling with what you're doing. You're going to, and you have what I believe, and I know this will be an argument, a lot of talent, and one of the best chess pieces in all of football defensively with Micah, probably one of the best safety tandems, and an inside linebacker that you feel great about. This is a group with a team that you feel like is on the cusp, and individually, you'll be able to accomplish all of your personal goals if you go and do what you're supposed to do as a defensive coordinator. That to me is about as good of a scenario as you can get if you want to be a defensive coordinator in this league. And Jeff Hafley went from a failed head football coach at BC to being one of the highest demand head coaches in the NFL in 2 years, with a defense that was good, not great. So it goes to show you why this job would be coveted, and I couldn't agree more with that assessment by whoever wrote that article.
It was Ben Solak and Jeremy Fowler. Again, over at ESPN.com, you can find it. Coaching edge rusher Micah Parsons sure sounds pretty
that
cool.
Somebody can't write their own articles? They have to share?
No, they're they do this whole thing where there's like a back and forth. Solak writes part of it, Fowler writes part of it. It's like a conversation. It's a style of article that
so
you
it's like
can
they're
write.
Doing a radio show on paper.
Yes, in digital internet reading form.
I had a question for both of you guys, because I've been thinking about this with this defensive coordinator search. Do you think there's any conversation where they're trying to also find a guy that they feel like can help this defense get through what could be about a quarter to a third of the season of not having Micah? Because obviously the defense is going to be very different once he comes back. And like how much pressure there is on this season. Like they can't start off slow as a defense when you don't have Micah.
I don't think. I mean, obviously, you never know how a guy recovers. I would be surprised if it was, all the way through October. We'll see, right? But no, I don't think that you want to have someone that has a philosophy in a scheme that is going to be aggressive. I know Matt LaFleur's thoughts. What drives him nuts is the same thing that drives fans nuts. When it's 3rd and 8, don't let a guy run an 8.5-yard route to the sticks and pick up a first down. Be aggressive. And where I thought last year went a little south was we didn't have enough lost yardage, game-changing plays. How many strip sacks did we see? How many? The fact that we didn't make as many lost yardage plays, whether that's blitzes or simulations, you need to be able to do things without Micah. You can't just bank on one guy. But when you give up the assets you did, you better make sure you're utilizing that one guy in even a better way than what they did this last year.
Maybe Hunter's question is one of the questions we'll ask ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter Rob Demovsky on the defensive coordinator search. He is scheduled to appear coming up next. We know, Tausch, whoever takes over as the Packers defensive coordinator will certainly be dreaming fearlessly about what the Packers can do next year and what they may be able to do in their careers after Green Bay.
Indeed, American Family Insurance, a proud partner of Wilde and Tausch from the jump, and since 1927, they've been committed to making life better with outstanding home and auto protection. Also, you're free to enjoy your dreams. I'll tell you what, I had a little windshield crack, and with this cold, that crack, I was going to just kind of let it sit there. It was right on the edge, and then it's now into the middle of my windshield. Called American Family Insurance. Boom, boom, boom. They're coming out, I think, today. You're going to throw me a new windshield. That's the kind of service you get with American Family Insurance. So insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance.
Get your dump buttons ready. Rob Demovsky scheduled to appear next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Don't miss a full day of nonstop basketball action at the Deer District Prep Showcase Saturday, January 24th at Fiserv Forum. See the next generation of stars as 12 elite high school boys basketball teams take over the court for 6 can't-miss games. Watch Slinger, Freedom, Arrowhead, West Dallas Central, Racine Lutheran, and more, all in one place. General admission is just $20, and that gets you access to all 6 games. Check the full schedule and grab your tickets now at FiservForum.com. Be there. Feel the energy. The Deer District Prep Showcase, Saturday, January 24th.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse and fun on the gaming floor where big wins wait for you. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
Dinner chaos? Not tonight. Not when you got Screamin' Sicilian Detroit-style pizza on the table. It's got a thick and airy crust, that crispy, caramelized edge, tons of toppings baked into perfection right in its own pan. Available in cheese. You got the pepperoni, the multi-meat. Supreme is fantastic, all delicious. Every bite brings a little peace and harmony to the table. It's Screamin' Sicilian Detroit-style. Dinner drama diffused. Find it in your local grocer's freezer section.
Mark Tausch here for Iron Jock. If you're still working on your New Year's resolutions, right now, congrats! You've officially made it past Quitter's Day. More than 70% of people give up by now, so take your win. Iron Jock wants to reward you. From now through January 27th, our listeners can get 30% off any Iron Jock purchase over $75 when you use promo code ESPN30. And you also score a free 3-pack of Iron Jock socks at $25 value. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up.
Rick, tell Sarah about the practical joke you came up with.
Okay, Sarah, this is really great. Are you ready?
Rick, I'm always ready. I walk around in a constant state of readiness.
A man buys a woman a pair of diamond stud earrings from Kessler's.
So far, this doesn't sound like much of a practical joke.
Be patient, he's not done yet.
And then on her birthday, or Valentine's Day, or Mother's Day, or Tuesday, he sneaks them out of her jewelry box and replaces them with a larger pair.
Well, as practical jokes go, this one sounds delightful, but it also sounds expensive.
No, he bought them at Kessler's, remember?
When you buy diamond stud earrings from Kessler's,
and we have them for $180 to $24,000 a pair,
you always get 100% of the price you paid when you trade up for a larger pair.
He just pays the difference?
He just pays the difference.
I love practical jokes. When do I get my first pair?
For the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
Tired of waking up exhausted? That dad bod weighing you down? Let's get you back to the old you. If your energy, focus, and drive aren't what they used to be, your hormones could be out of balance. At Mentality, we'll dig into what's really going on, then build a personalized, science-backed plan using hormone therapy and peptide treatments to get your brain and your body back on track. So stop telling yourself you're just getting older. Book your appointment now at lowtusa.com. Right now, all new patient labs are covered in your treatment plan. That's a savings of $250. Go to lowtusa.com.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Jason Wilde on assignment. The Packers' search for a defensive coordinator continues. And for the latest insights on what the team may choose to do, we welcome back ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter in one of the most highly anticipated segments in Wilde and Tausch history. Rob Demovsky joins the show. Good morning, Rob. How are you?
I'm great. Why would this be highly anticipated? Another Friday.
Rob, I'll tell you what, man. You moved the needle last week. I don't know if you how long you're going to continue to do this. I don't know if you can beat what you did last week. I don't know if that's going to be possible. It's tough. It's a tough bar to crawl.
Yeah, well, I got chastised from management, but it is what it is.
Okay.
Not for me. I can tell you that I was one of these. That was passionate. Your passion exuded, and that's what we're always looking for is great passion. All right, Rob, what are we thinking? They brought in Al Harris. There's been a bunch of conversations about other folks. How do you see this defensive coordinator so far, and what do you think is going to end up shaking out?
Well, Tausch, I think like most Matt LaFleur interview sessions or searches for assistants, he's going to talk to a lot of guys. He's done that for just about every job opening he's had, especially coordinators. And I don't think anything happens until he can talk to Jim Leonhard. I think Jim Leonhard's high on his list. He obviously can't talk to him. And I got to be honest with you, there's some debate about when they actually can talk to him if the Broncos win. I thought I was under the impression that they could talk to him Monday during that Super Bowl bye week, whether the Broncos win or lose. Obviously, if they lose, they can talk to him. And they're probably going to lose with, Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. But then I talked to somebody in the league who said, nope, if the Broncos win, they cannot talk to him before the Super Bowl. Only head coach candidates can interview for jobs if their teams are still playing. I don't know if that's true. I scoured the rules, the internet, and I can't find clarity on it. But long story short, they're going to talk to Jim Leonhard before any decisions made. And I think Jim Leonhard's high on the list. Jonathan Gannon's high on the list. We don't know what Raheem Morris is doing yet. Is he sitting out the year? That's one of Matt LaFleur's guys. So I do think there's a lot of options on the table. I will tell you this, and if you would have lined up, 53 guys in the locker room in 2000 and what would that have been when Al Harris played in the mid 2000s, and said one of these guys is going to be an NFL defensive coordinator, I don't think Al Harris would have been first, second, or third on my pick list. But from what I've been told, he's become a really good coach, and players really like him. But I would have never guessed that Al Harris would have gone into this.
Rob, there was conflicting reports again, and I don't want to get you. I don't want to get you in trouble. No, I'm not doing that. Not going to do it. But there was conflicting reports, and Jason talked about it, that Jimmy Leonhard was offered the defensive coordinator job, and then there was they talked about it. Matt LaFleur, obviously, if it seems as if from your perspective, is very interested to talk to Jimmy again. So that's not if indeed he was offered and turned it down, which is what Jason reported. There's no grudge holding. He would love to Matt LaFleur would love to at least sit down and have those discussions with Jimmy. Is that your understanding?
That is my understanding, and I don't know. It might be semantics whether he was offered it and turned it down, but clearly they wanted him. It might be one of those things where it's, hey, if we offer this job to you, would you take it? And then he, says probably not. So did he turn it down, or is that a preemptive way of not getting turned down? I think it's just semantics. But yeah, Jim Leonhard in 2021 went deep into this process. And at the time, I was told he didn't feel like the move was right. One of the reasons, from what I understood, was that his family really liked living in Madison. And guess what, Tausch, maybe you know this, his family still lives in Madison, and he's in Denver. So Green Bay would be a little closer. Got to check my atlas here. Yes, Green Bay is slightly closer.
Rob, you don't even have to check. You don't have to check your atlas. It is closer. I'll do the research for you, and I don't love doing research.
It's a scrap paper that I have a bunch of numbers written on it.
Yeah, this is actually a used Kleenex that I looked at, so we're both in the same boat.
He's a prop comedian now, folks. Okay, so is it fair to assume then, Rob, based on what you're saying, that the longer this process takes, the more likely the potential of Jim Leonhard becoming the defensive coordinator?
That's a great observation, Jesse. I think that is 100% in play. There probably are still more people that LaFleur wants to talk to and interview. But, yeah, if they were going to hire – maybe they will hire Jonathan Gannon. I don't know. If they were going to hire him, Why not hire him?
They'd hire him.
Well, so what do we know about Gannon Ball? What do we know about Jonathan Gannon when he was in for an interview earlier this week?
Yeah, I mean, he was a guy who was highly thought of as a defensive coordinator in his past. And, whatever you think of, what he did as a head coach in Arizona, I mean, who has succeeded as a head coach in Arizona? I mean, it's been a while, probably.
Bucko Bruce.
And Whisenhunt?
Bucko Bruce was pretty good there.
Bruce Arians, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at, Philadelphia's defense when Gannon was there as coordinator, was it 2 years? I'm trying to remember. 1 or 2 years he was there. He comes from a defensive background, and Jeff Hafley came from a defensive background. I think Matt LaFleur likes the idea of a defensive coordinator who sees it from the back end going forward. And I think that's, some of the candidates. Obviously, Al Harris, that's the viewpoint he would bring to a defense as a former cornerback. So it does appear that Matt LaFleur likes that. Joe Barry was a linebackers coach, if I'm not mistaken, and is a linebackers coach again. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a must to be a DB coach. But certainly if you're a DB coach, you see everything in front of you with the whole defense. So that could be attractive about Jonathan Gannon as well.
So, Rob, a lot of times when these searches go on, I'll speak for myself as a fan, we hear names like Jim Leonhard and Al Harris, and we get excited about those. And then you hear, former head coaches like Jonathan Gannon, and then it often ends up being a guy like Jeff Hafley that comes out of nowhere, and that's the guy that they hire. Who's the Jeff Hafley option that we know of at this point that is just some random name that feels like it's let's just throw this one in, and he might be the guy that gets named defensive coordinator in a week or two?
Who's the head coach at Western Michigan or Central Michigan or someplace, Matt LaFleur? I'm joking, but LaFleur did have a guy named Tim Lester on his staff who was the head coach at Western Michigan, and then he brought him in as a special assistant. If I knew who the mystery candidate was, Jesse wouldn't be a mystery, right? And, I remember the day they hired Jeff Hafley, one of our college reporters, Pete Thamel, called me up and he said, hey, I think the Packers are going to hire Jeff Hafley as defensive coordinator. And as you guys know, I've talked about this before, I don't really watch much college football. And my first answer was, who? But look, man, Jeff Hafley has a good track record. And then once I looked in, I'm like, oh yeah, Jeff Hafley worked for the 49ers, worked for the Browns, had been in the league before. Makes sense, right? But certainly it was a bit of an out-of-the-box hire at the time.
Yes, Rob. So
go ahead.
that coordinator, obviously, that position they got to shake that out. What other changes, if any? Because at some point, I know Matt LaFleur had a little bit of uncertainty there, and he had that first week where you couldn't really do much. If he is going to make a change at offensive line or offensive coordinator, what's the timeline look like for that? Because guys are getting snapped up if you do make a move.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, Tausch, because I've been asking that question for the last couple of days, and the answer that I've gotten from people over there at 1265 is that Matt LaFleur is still working through that. So I said, is there any timeline on when we might have an idea? And I got a one-word answer. It was no. So clearly it's not settled, right? I mean, when someone says he's still working through that, that means that either he hasn't made up his mind or he hasn't figured out how he's going to reorganize or approach things. But I think it would be naive to sit here and think that just because we're almost 2 full weeks out from the end of the season, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 full weeks out from the end of the season,
Saturday.
Tomorrow, that he's settled and he's not doing anything. That would be inaccurate thinking. I would have to think that if we don't hear something by the end of the day today, it would have to be early next week, because you're right, Tausch. You got to get going, especially with him liking to interview a lot of guys. Then it just makes the process take longer. I do think there are changes coming. This is just my educated guess. I'm not reporting anything, but I do think there could be changes on both sides. Well, there are obviously going to be changes on both sides of the ball, but there could be changes on all 3 phases. We can't rule anything out yet.
So your educated guess. What would your educated guesses be? Because I think the thought was, since Jeff Hafley got that Miami job, there could be 3 new coordinators. Jason pushed back pretty vehemently with me because he said the overarching theme, and when he talks to people over in the building, Rich Bisaccia isn't going anywhere, even though fans, and if I'm being honest myself, look at it and say, and I'm not going to get in the argument about how much he's getting paid with you, because we've had this discussion, and I don't want you swearing today.
God.
But we're not going to do that. But Bisaccia's numbers and the special teams hadn't gotten any better. But it sounds as if Jason thinks his culture and everything he brings, LaFleur ain't letting him go anytime soon.
I think Jason's, it pains me to say this, but I think Jason's probably right about that. I think that's an accurate read on the situation over there, and players really, really love him. The other coaches on the staff really like him and appreciate him. He brings a morale to the meetings that's high energy and highly intelligent. But I also am with you, Tausch, man. The special teams haven't gotten a whole lot better. Maybe slightly better, but they're still not to the point where they're a help more than a hindrance. I will say in Bisaccia's defense, and we did an exercise that we've done before at ESPN.com where we redrafted this past year's draft, just did the first 2 rounds. And as I rolled it, I don't know when it's running on ESPN.com, but I assume fairly soon. I can tell you that I did not pick either of the 2 players that the Packers picked in the first round this year. And one of those picks I made had major special teams considerations. And no, I didn't pick a kicker or punter or long snapper in the first round. But as I looked at it, my point in telling this long, drawn-out, boring story is that they haven't done a lot to help Rich Bisaccia in terms of acquiring guys who are special teams players, in terms of the returners, about using starters on special teams. I mean, it used to be, this isn't feasible anymore with the higher injury rates, but it used to be that, as the season went on and you got to the end of the year and in playoffs, that the Packers used to use more starters on special teams, and they just haven't seemed to approach that. So that's on the coaching staff, but it's also on the personnel department, probably, because for not addressing special teams. I do think that people will like my second round pick in terms of a special teams / return person who could have been an exciting player for the Packers if they had gone this route in the draft.
Oh, boy, we're going to have to check that out over at ESPN.com. I have a question about the offensive coordinator, Adam Stenavich, and really, if he were to either move on or be moved on from, what does the offensive coordinator do with Matt LaFleur calling plays? Like, what does Adam Stenavich do, and what would, if there was another offensive coordinator, what would that person do?
It's the age-old question, right? If you're not a play caller, what are you doing? But here's where I think, from what I understand about non-play calling coordinators, is that a large part of their responsibility is preparing game plans in terms of not necessarily saying we're going to call this play, but these are the plays that we have that will work against this opponent coming up. And the offensive coordinator will put together a plan of what he thinks are the best plays and the best concepts that they would do, this week as they're preparing Monday and Tuesday for the practice week, and presents that plan to the head coach, the play caller. And then it's up to Matt to sort of, and Jordan Love to sort of sort through it and say, yeah, this is what we like, this is what we don't like. But just because you're not a play caller doesn't mean you're not heavily involved in preparing the offense for the week. And then on game day, his job is to sit upstairs and, look at what's happening in games and help Matt LaFleur make adjustments based on what he sees from coverages and, schemes from up top. So, I mean, it is a heavily involved job. And the other thing, too, that the offensive coordinator does oftentimes is stand in front of the offense in the offensive meetings. The head coach has a lot of responsibilities that take him away from that. So messaging is a big part of that. Teaching is also a big part of that. Obviously, Steno's background is on the offensive line, and you definitely see him spending a lot of time in training camp and in practice around the offensive line group, overseeing those types of things and stepping in and coaching hands-on there. So it is definitely, it's not a figurehead job. for sure. It's an important job.
So is he good at it? Like, do we feel good about where they're at with what he's been doing in that role for the last several years, or is that an upgrade spot?
How do you judge? Yeah, how do you judge a position? I've been doing this for almost 30 years now, and I'm not sure how I can tell if a position coach or someone like that is really good. Like, if their players play good, does that mean they're a good position coach? Or, I don't know. I mean, I think we can all agree that, guys, a guy like James Campen, was Tausch's coach for a long time. I mean, you don't stick around the NFL as long as he has not being a good coach. You don't take, 7th round picks, 4th round pick, David Bakhtiari, right? 4th round pick. What were guys like, Scott Wells, Corey Lindsley, on and on. Brian Balaga was a first, but, more often than not, guys like that were developing mid to late round picks and turning them into not only starters, but, Pro Bowl type players or high level starters. So I think you can tell there, because I'm just going to use this as an example, because Matthew Golden didn't have the, maybe the rookie year that people thought, does that mean Ryan Mahaffey's not a good receivers coach? I don't know. But not to pick on him, it's just the first name that popped into my mind. Maybe he is, and maybe the offensive, maybe Steno and the play caller didn't do a good job getting Matthew Golden involved. It's hard to know, is my point, Jesse, in terms of, a position coach, unless you're in the room and in the building. And you can talk to players about a coach and say, oh yeah, really, really like him. Really, really thought he was a good coach. I mean, who knows? Like, who was it? Sam Gash, the running backs coach, essentially got fired because Eddie Lacy was out of shape. Like, is that Sam Gash's fault? Like, I don't know.
Tausch, how would you answer
Rob,
that? Like, what matters for a coach like that?
Coaches, what is it? Teach and demand, and you're judged, whether it's right or wrong, on how your unit performs. So all of the things Rob talking, Sam Gash, Eddie Lacy was awesome for a stretch. When it goes the other way, you look at it and you say, why is this the case? And the easiest thing to do is to replace the coach and get a different voice in that room. And I think what I was going to ask Rob was the O-line coach, Butkus. The O-line had a tough year. I am always going to sit here and try to tell, they did this. The group didn't cohesively come together. There's a lot of reasons, injuries, a lot of shuffling. Right. You think he's back, or do you think that to me is one of the positions that I think Matt LaFleur probably is really looking at, however you phrased that earlier, is really looking at. Do you think he's back?
Yeah. Working through it, I think was the phrase.
Working through
it. I'll be honest with you, Tausch. I thought they were going to make changes last offseason on both the O-line and the D-line, and they did with the D-line, made a change there, brought in DeMarcus Covington, and I was, somewhat surprised that they didn't. Now, is it Luke Butkus' fault or was it Luke Butkus' decision to move Elton Jenkins to center and to sign Aaron Banks at left guard? No, I'm sure it was not.
Nope.
But it's his job to teach the techniques. And, I don't know, watching offensive, I could stand there till I'm 90 years old and watch offensive line practice and not know if they're teaching the right techniques or not, or if the drills that they're doing to try to teach their techniques are the right drills. And there's also a bunch of other things, when it goes into do O-line coaches just teach the same drill every day in practice, or do they focus in on, all right, this is the technique and these are the blocks that we're going to be using this week in practice, so we're going to hone in on those. Like, there's different philosophies. Some O-line coaches they work the same drills day in, day out, whether, depending, it doesn't matter what the game plan is that week. Other O-line coaches will take specific things that they know they're going to do in this game and only zero in on those. Not saying one philosophy is right or wrong. It's just a different philosophy. But I couldn't tell you by watching it what they're doing, right? Like, I just don't know enough about offensive line play to know. So I don't honestly think it's fair for me to sit here and, grade Luke Butkus or anything like that. But you're right, Tausch. Did the unit perform up to standards or up to expectations? No.
Yeah, and that's how they're judged, and whether that's fair or not. And the easy thing is to do something different to try to get a different result. But even though that's going to be another unit that there's going to be draft resources, I don't know what they're going to be able to do free agency-wise. But Goody didn't think that the group was good enough in Philly 2 postseasons ago, and I'm certain as he's looking at it now, he's like, "Ooh, we got a long way to go on this." Last one for me, Rob. Do you have something? Go ahead.
No, I was just sorry, Tausch. I was just going to say, I think the one thing that they need to try to do on the offensive line, again, just my opinion, is just keep guys at spots, man. Like, I know you got to cross-train backups, but like they have mismanaged.
Jordan
might
Morgan,
be a strong
great
word,
example.
but I feel like they've mismanaged Jordan Morgan. I really
agree.
But
yep. So. No, you have to. It's one thing to cross-train during the season, and you have to get guys ready to play because you're dressing 6, 7 guys. You have to let a guy grow into a spot. It's not as easy, especially when you're changing guard to tackle and then left to right. Like, it is a monster, especially for a young player that you have to build confidence. I couldn't agree with you more. Hopefully Jordan gets settled in at left tackle if they end up letting Sheed go, which we all think is going to be the case. All right, Rob, last one.
Yeah.
Best moment of the year for this Green Bay Packers team is?
I kind of feel like the 2 wins over Detroit were huge, just because of the previous year getting swept by those guys. I'm sure there's an individual play or moment that I'm not thinking of, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it just felt like those Detroit games were massively important, and they won them. And I think this coming season, that's going to be replaced by the 2 games against Chicago. Like, I just think those are such important games and such important moments. And, Jordan Love was it the Thanksgiving game against Detroit was really, really good in that game. And, that was the Dontavion Wicks game. Sort of came out of nowhere. I just, those games stick in my mind as 2, if you were talking about high points of the season, I thought both Detroit games fit that.
ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter Rob Demovsky. Last one for you, Rob. Tausch says the negative 17 degrees or whatever the temperature is outside wherever we live around the state today, that's better than when it was 50 degrees and muddy in early January. Agree or disagree with Old T's weather assessment?
You know what? Hold on here. This is a visual.
Visual exercise. All right.
If these things, my golf clubs are sitting here in my office, it doesn't matter if it's minus 17 or muddy. I can't play golf, so it's all crap.
There he is. And he kept it clean. Well done. Rob Demovsky, ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter. Thanks so much, Rob. We appreciate this, and thanks for not letting Hunter use the dumb button today.
All right. But yeah, you don't make Hunter work too hard. I'm sure he's having to manage you 2 guys. There's probably a lot of work in and of itself. So you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later.
Appreciate it. Rob Demovsky joining us from ESPN.com, where he covers the Green Bay Packers. A lot of interesting things we just talked about on the coordinator front with Rob. We'll talk about that.
I'll tell you what, for everybody that's wanting Jimmy Leonhard, Rob didn't do anything to dispel anything there.
Very interesting what he just shared with us. We'll talk about it more next. It's Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher, and if you're serious about getting more active this year, listen up. The Pickler in Menominee Falls is indoor pickleball, and it's for everybody, whether you're brand new or just trying to move more. Right now, they're offering free learn-to-play clinics every Monday and Saturday at noon. No experience, no gear. They'll teach you everything. So stop talking about your New Year's resolutions and go do something about it. Stop in at The Pickler in Menominee Falls or call the club for more details.
When a trophy is raised, it can feel like the season's over, but on the ESPN app, it never really is. Because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season, get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today.
4 years. That's enough time to earn a college degree, to serve a full term as a president, to train for something big and become someone new.
You bet, and get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, so you can invest in your home and in life's biggest moments. With exclusive features and customizations, Pella offers the highest quality products at a price you can afford.
Aim high when setting your New Year's resolution and imagine what you can do in 4 years when you finance your home project with Pella. Visit PellaWI.com today.
At Associated Bank, we thought about speaking like other banks with hoity-toity names like Total Privilege Pay or something. But we don't speak bankish, we speak your language. When we say 2-day early pay, we mean you get paid 2 days early. $50 overdraft grace zone? That's a grace zone of up to $50 if overdrafts happen. And maintenance fee free account? Well, that speaks for itself. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
Looking up at the Marquette banners, brought to you by Saganiac Planning. Number 15 retired in honor of Butch Lee. He finished in 78, and the number retired the next season. It's hard to believe that any player could ever equal what Butch Lee did at Marquette. Part of the national championship team in 77, and the Final Four MVP, and the next season, the consensus National Player of the Year. So much success, it's not necessary to bring up any statistics. Number 15, Butch Lee, did everything. Running a business means taking care of your team and your bottom line. For over 50 years, Saganiac Planning has helped small businesses build smarter, more affordable medical and employee benefit plans. From health insurance to customized coverage options, our experts make it simple to protect your people and your future. Saganiac Planning, your partner in planning confidence. Visit SaganiacPlanning.com or call John Saganiac Jr. today to get started. 262-783-6161.
Hungry for something fresh and delicious? Get your favorites from Cousin Subs delivered straight to your door. From our freshly baked bread and hand-sliced meats and cheeses to our famous sides, crispy golden fries, Wisconsin cheese curds, or creamy mac and cheese. Every meal made to order and ready to enjoy. Ordering is quick and easy online or through the Cousins app. Whether it's a solo lunch, family dinner, or a spread for the whole crew, let us bring it straight to you, fast and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Thanks again to ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter Rob Demovsky for joining the show. If you missed any of that conversation, it'll be available momentarily on the ESPN Wisconsin app and the ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels. Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Jason will be back on Monday. I don't think anything happens until Matt LaFleur can talk to Jim Leonhard. It's probably the most significant nugget that we heard from Rob Demovsky during his appearance. Talked about all the coordinator positions. It was really insightful. Tausch, what'd you think when you heard that from Rob?
I thought it was telling because you're seeing him. He had Allen. I think he had Gannon in. And Rob is right in the regards that he's very thorough. He is going to go through a long list of different candidates, but I think there's always, you have somebody in the back of your mind. And if you can get that person, you're going to wait to see. So in Jimmy Leonhard's case, there's obviously the fact that their team is in the playoffs. They don't know when he's going to be available to do it. And I do think Vance is their D coordinator right now.
Vance Joseph, yeah.
I think Vance Joseph, as long as and I don't think Arizona's job is filled. That's where he's been if Arizona's job continues to not get filled, the worry I have is he takes the Arizona job and then Jimmy is going to stay in Denver with Sean Payton. He's the assistant head coach there. I don't think there's many other spots that would be the case because I think Jimmy wants to get back to Wisconsin at some point. But I think there's also Sean Payton brought him in. So if that doesn't occur, I think both parties would love to see this happen. And Rob's reporting or whatever if he doesn't want to use the word reporting.
Hunch.
His instincts, his hunch. I think that for everybody that believes and hopes that Jimmy Leonhard will run this defense, I think you could feel very optimistic that he's going to get that opportunity if that's how it shakes out.
Let me ask you this. If you're Jim Leonhard and Vance Joseph does get the Cardinals job or any other head coaching job, if you just look at it and forget the history of who hired you and what role and all that stuff, just look at the jobs, the Packers defensive coordinator and the Broncos defensive coordinator, what's a better job?
I mean, you can't take that out of the equation, though. I don't think that's not a
well, why not?
fair deal.
If you're looking at Micah Parsons and Xavier McKinney, and
if I may, if someone gives you an opportunity and puts you as the assistant head coach and is putting you basically in line to continue to grow and is going to pay you and do all of the things with a group that you've worked with, I think it's very difficult to say no. Now, the fact that it is the state of Wisconsin and your family is back here and that's where you want to be, that changes the math. But I don't think you can, these things can't be siloed off. If someone puts you in that position and they're kind of tailoring you to be that guy at the next spot, I don't think you're going to leave. But that doesn't mean these family circumstances won't come into play. If you're asking me strictly on defense, Denver's defense is really good. Green Bay's defense is very good, but I'm telling you right now, Jeff Hafley was a unicorn in the fact people didn't criticize him like they do others. You come in and your defense isn't very good, you're going to get hashtagged, and it is a thankless job unless you're doing big things. So the defense has a ton of talent, I believe, here too, but I think Denver's defense is very good as well. So I think it would be a very tough decision for Jimmy and his family.
We'll see how it continues to play out over the next few days, and who knows, maybe the next couple of weeks as well. I don't know if you can go to Hard Rock Casino Rockford and place a wager on who the Packers' next defensive coordinator will be, but I do know you can go there. You can go to the UU Noodle Bar, you can enjoy the sports book, and all the great tables and everything they have at Hard Rock Casino Rockford.
And indeed, they have all the things Jesse just mentioned. We had the great time at the sports book. They have the entertainment. Hopefully, at some point, maybe even getting Dolly Parton down there. We don't know that for sure, but Bradshaw's been there. They have everything you're looking for, and they elevate the high-limit room experience that delivers premium table games tailored for discerning players, enhanced game rules, including blackjack, where the dealer will stand on a soft 17, which gives you that much better odds. Faster play and the kind of authentic high-limit action that sets the Hard Rock Casino Rockford apart. Again, it's 60 minutes from the greater Madison, even with Jesse driving. 60 minutes door-to-door, right off of I-90, that big old beautiful guitar in Rockford, Illinois.
I'm blaming you for getting pulled over going 78 outside of La Crosse. I always drive so slow. Old man driving down the highway with Jesse. And then I go 78 and a 70 and get pulled over a couple of weeks ago. That's your fault.
Oh, go booing. Go boo in the UU Noodle Bar.
You asked Rob Demovsky what he thought the moment of the year was for the Green Bay Packers. We will share our answers, and then we're looking for some fan interaction here on a Friday. We may even take some phone calls coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. Getting wild with Jason on assignment today. 10 o'clock hour, Wilde and Tausch starts in 2 minutes.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
2
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Make your next activation or event a slam dunk with Captivate Exhibits, your leader in transforming spaces and creating brand experiences that truly stand out and connect. If you can dream it, Captivate can design it, build it, and activate it. From trade shows and events to enhancing interior spaces like your lobby, history wall, or break room, Captivate Exhibits turns ideas into highlight reels. With over 32 years of award-winning experience, Captivate delivers every time, always beating the buzzer. Get started with your next big idea today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Tune into the Rich Eisen Show weekdays from 12 to 2, right here on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. No Jason Wilde today. He is on assignment. He's okay. I don't know if anyone was concerned about the cold being a problem for him. He's fine. He's just a scheduled day off today. He'll be back on Monday. Jesse and Tausch today. Hunter Vaughn, our cousin sub of the day, producing the show in the Everlight Solar Studio here at ESPN Madison. Special thanks to Rob Demovsky for joining us in the 9 o'clock hour. A lot of interesting insights on all three, quite frankly, of the Packers coordinator openings or current positions held. Make sure you check it all out over on the ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels, and on the ESPN Wisconsin app. We posed a question this morning on the Wilde and Tausch Facebook page. I knew I was going to be hosting the show today, and Tausch, you know I love Facebook. That's my preferred social media platform. It's the OG of social media. Well, I guess MySpace is the OG of social media, and then there's Facebook. Facebook's the one that really took social media up to the next level. And the question that we asked, what was the best moment of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season? And quite frankly, I'm disappointed by the amount of responses that have come in so far. And I think that's because fans are still a little dejected by how the season ended, that we don't want to look back and remember some of the positive moments of what happened in 2025. We're more focused on the negatives, and especially how it ended, blowing a 21-3 halftime lead against the Chicago Bears. There are some responses rolling in. You heard Rob's answer. What is your answer? What do you think was the best moment for the 2025 Green Bay Packers? Tausch?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm
asking fans.
No, I'm asking you.
Maybe you can say, hey, Tausch. You know how it
He said Tausch twice in that setup. Tausch, you weren't listening. He said your name twice in that setup.
No, I was... Hunter, I was listening, and I was not going to jump in and interject. So, no, don't... That's BS. There's times I'm not listening. That ain't one of them.
Hand up. So I didn't do a good job setting you up.
No,
that's my fault.
That was blank poor by you, Jesse. I'm not going to sit here and call. Hunter, don't be co-signing on BS that Jesse just did. So, all right.
Let me try again. Hey, Tausch, What do you think?
Thank you, Jesse.
What do you think was the best moment of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season?
So I just tweeted this, and I think there's two, and I think they're both not. What are you chuckling about? You know that was on you, not on
because
me.
You just said you just tweeted this, which would lend credibility to the fact that maybe you were focused on doing something else instead.
I tweeted it in the commercial break.
I didn't say it.
Jesse, the fact that you can't take accountability for that irritates me about as much as this companion certificate, FYI. Because I don't mind getting called out when I'm in the wrong. I wasn't in the wrong.
I didn't call you out. I said my fault.
BS
I didn't set you up well enough.
All right, I'm done. Just admit when you're wrong. This isn't that hard. The two things that's off the field, it's the Micah Parsons trade, and it's the drafting of Matthew Golden by Mark Murphy. And that makes me sad to say that that's what that was, but I thought, well, Micah chasing down Goff in that was the crowd went crazy. It was a big deal. And then you start looking, well, Keyshawn intercepting the ball against the Bears, but it didn't, in the grand scheme of things, mean much. They didn't win the division. The Bears ended up gutting us twice. And then the beating the Lions up in Detroit, which was great, but it didn't really lead to anything. So all of that said, I think the reason there's not a ton of engagement and people are is because there's not. And I'd argue we've now had 2 seasons. When you're trying to win a championship, you have moments. B.J. Rock expected. Tucker Kraft with a couple touchdowns. Christian Watson with some big plays. You need to have those special moments to have a special season. And the last 2 seasons, that's thousands of plays. I'm trying to think, what are the big boy plays? And I'm having a hard time. I got TJ Lang texting or tweeting after I put down Chasing a Guy because that really is the best? And I'm looking at it like I don't know what else to put on there.
I think when you get a walk-off win against the Bears, the Keyshawn Nixon interception in a vacuum is an awesome moment for the fans who were at the game, for those of us who were watching on television. Like, that's a cool moment when it comes down to the final play, more or less, of the game, and in the end zone with the Bears having a chance to take the lead and likely win the game, you get an interception of Caleb Williams. That was awesome. Now, it is superseded now that we reflect on the season by how the losses went at Soldier Field both times, which is crazy how all 3 of those games played out this year. But that, to me, would be the single moment, because that was also part of a winning streak. You felt really good about where the Packers were then going to Denver the following week. 2 teams that were going to be, at the time, in contention for the number 1 seeds in their conference. And then, of course, the debacle in Denver and how that led to the downfall of the rest of the season. The Bears game and the win, the Keyshawn Nixon interception in the end zone, to me is a clear answer for the best moment of the 2025 Packers season.
I think that you can definitely make that case, but the bottom line is we had an average season. We didn't have a ton of big plays. We didn't have a ton of big boy moments that pushed us into potential of winning a championship. We were really now for 2 seasons have been pretty average. We've done what we were supposed to do. This year we were able to get over the hump, but then I'm looking at it like, were we really over the hump? The Detroit Lions weren't even a playoff team, and those are our 2 signature wins. So I don't know. That is going to be the big test in this next era of Matt LaFleur football, is finding ways to make these big plays, and it has to come from the special teams and defense too. You can't just lean on one set of a unit to make all of the plays. You need to make game-changing plays in the other 2 phases, and when one of your phases you're just hoping to not screw up, you're taking 33% of your chances to make these game-changing plays out of it. Seattle is not in this position that they're in this weekend, which is a 1 seed, hosting for an opportunity to go. If they don't pick up Rashid, what is his name, Rashid or whatever his name is, the punt returner?
So yeah, I'll figure it. I'm drawing a blank right now. I saw him do the kick return.
Shaheed.
Rashid Shaheed, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a tough name.
It's something of
tough
that
name.
ilk. Yeah, but 2 touchdowns he's made, and that was a trade deadline pickup. Those are the things that make a difference in these, in having an average playoff season and having the next level. So, obviously, Green Bay has a lot of work to do, and bringing in guys that have potential to make plays on both sides of the other sides of the football other than the offense, that has to be at the top of the list as far as how you get from this point to the next point, which is hopefully being in contention and playing late into January rather than who are we firing, are we bringing this guy back, are we doing that? Getting that narrative flipped is going to be a lot more difficult.
Rashid Shaheed. That is a tricky name. 844-770-3776. We are opening it up to you. What was the best moment of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season? I'm seeing responses already coming in.
And also put up what was the worst moment. You can pick either, because I don't know how many people look at. Well, the worst moment, there's obviously this Bears playoff.
I mean, are we excluding the Bears loss in the that's obviously the worst. So you blew a 21-3 lead on the road in the playoffs against the Bears.
I don't know if obviously that is a gut punch, and yes, that's where most people are going to say. But I would argue that Cleveland Browns game is just as bad. Obviously, the stakes weren't as high, but that game set a tone and kind of got the ball going on the wrong way, winning close games and losing. That was a brutal loss at a time when you could have really been steamrolling people.
So we're looking for both the best or the worst moments of the Green Bay Packers season. Whatever you'd like to chime in with, you know where to find us. 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line. Less is more. You can also get in on the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed, Facebook page, and in the YouTube comments for the show as well. We will get to your responses, best and worst moments of the Packers season. Coming up next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Did you know Professional Construction Inc. has an in-house team of interior designers? We're excited to bring our expertise to you with our brand new virtual interior design program. Maybe you're not ready for a full construction project, but you are ready to refresh that outdated room. Our PCI design team creates stunning photorealistic renderings, a mood board, and a curated shopping list, all delivered to you in just days.
For all your construction and design needs,
visit professionalconstructioninc.com.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family. For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Michelle Smallman.
This was after Harbaugh won a national championship at Michigan, and Rini came on Unsportsmanlike and told us very casually, I ran into Jim Harbaugh at a funeral, and he was gushing over how much he loves Justin Herbert. Sure enough, he goes there, and once again, they fall short in the playoffs. And we're talking about Justin Herbert not having an excuse at head coach anymore. Why hasn't he taken that next step? Well, now you have one of the most innovative and brilliant offensive minds in the NFL, and Mike McDaniel, saying, hey, I'm not only going to go there and learn from Jim Harbaugh, but I think that there's a quarterback that has so much talent that I can do something special with him, and then I can explore being a head coach again. But to me, this is not only validation for Justin Herbert, but it's also now more pressure. Because not only do you have a head coach, but you know you're going to have an offensive coordinator that's going to be able to put you in advantageous situations. So you better be able to take that next step this year.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
A lot of responses coming in to the best and worst moments of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season. Man, I wish we were playing here this weekend on Conference Championship weekend. I really thought the Packers were going to make it this far, especially in early December when they were in the midst of that winning streak contending for the 1 seed.
We would have had 50 to 60% of the Rams field filled with cheeseheads. Last week would have been tough going out to Seattle, but I don't think anyone, who knows if we would have seen the same barrage that they put on the Niners. And I would have picked Seattle to beat us last week, but just like an American president, I would have loved to have that matchup. But that's neither here nor there. We didn't get the job done. We didn't close up shop against our arch rivals, and we have to sit on that and stew for a full, 8 months.
844-770-3776. Going to try to get to responses in all of our platforms here. So starting with the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line, the text portion of the Talk and Text line at the Adam in Madison. The best moment was how we looked weeks 1 and 2 when everyone was healthy. Unfortunately, it was downhill from there.
I can't argue a ton with Adam on that. I'm telling you, we walked out of that building that opening night against Detroit, and I walked over to our Tundra Trio houses and did the postgame, and it was euphoric. The Detroit Lions knew we had closed the gap. Packer fans were, oh, my God, we have a squad. This is a squad. Micah had the day he had, and it just felt like things had changed because we couldn't beat those Cats last year. And they started to, question, can we, as a Green Bay Packers organization, take down this version of Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions? And we could, and we did it twice. And we dominated both of those openers against playoff teams from last year. And what was the narrative coming into this season? Can beat the bad and average teams, can't beat the playoff teams. So the vibes were never higher. I thought we regained a little bit of that. And then, obviously, the injuries in Denver with Micah. We were not resilient or talented enough to overcome those, and that's what led to the early departure this season.
I've seen this one come in a few different spots. I'll credit Gary on the Wilde and Tausch Facebook page for commenting with this one. The day of the trade for Micah Parsons. It was Thursday, August 28th, hours before Billy Edwards and the Wisconsin Badgers kicked off the 2025 college football season at Camp Randall Stadium. The trade for Micah Parsons comes down in the mid-afternoon. and euphoric around downtown Madison where we were getting set for that college football game that night. Quite frankly, that has a good candidacy to be in the running for the best moment of the Packers season in my mind.
Well, and then obviously hosting the draft and having Mark Murphy give his big thing and seeing 250,000 people in Titletown, like those, it's awesome that we had those moments, but that's never what you want to be your shining moment, is off the field stuff, because that means your on the field stuff wasn't good enough. But I do think we all will remember when we couldn't believe it, even though there was a lot of breadcrumbs leading up that it was going to happen. You just couldn't believe the Dallas Cowboys would be crazy enough to do it. And Micah, until he got hurt, was everything we hoped he'd be in Green Bay. So the future's bright, no doubt. Get Micah back healthy, and hopefully early part of next season, you get Tucker Kraft healthy. And I am convinced that one of the reasons Matt LaFleur has kept his job, had this same thing happened with both of those two stars playing, and we ended up kind of fading like we did, I'm not so certain Matt LaFleur would still be the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. But he's getting another opportunity. He's going to have his guys back, and there will be no excuses. None. As far as we got the roster, you have the guys, it's go time. And I think Matt LaFleur and his staff know that.
Getting a lot of people saying, especially in the YouTube comments, please don't review the worst moments of the season. We don't need to relive it. It does kind of go against our Feel Good Friday mantra around here on Wilde and Tausch to say, hey, let's spend the rest of the show talking about the worst moments of the 2025 season. But there were a bunch of them, especially, unfortunately, down the stretch in December and into the playoffs. Keep the responses coming, 844-770-3776. Let's go to the phones. Levi in Stevens Point, one of the great fans of this show, and of course he attended my wedding a number of years ago in Jason's place. Levi, welcome in to Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch. What was the best moment this season?
Hey guys, you can hear me, correct?
Oh, we got you, loud and clear.
That is correct, yes.
All right. I've just been battling a bad fever this week, so at least I called in today. So I'm been doing much better today. Just really.
Oh, good. Yeah, you kind of sound like Tausch did yesterday, Levi. A little under the weather. So hopefully you're going to be okay here.
Levi and I are competitors. Yeah. We don't let a little cold and a little fever bring us down.
Yeah. Hey, Hunter, could you play that Tausch sound effect? Like I feel fantastic with. That one's so awesome.
I feel fantastic.
There you go.
Just for Levi.
I love that Levi's producing the show now from Stevens Point.
On a sick day, nonetheless. Impressive.
Thanks. All right. I want to try to keep clock management here. The one best moment and worst moment. The best one was Micah Parsons getting at Jared Goff in week 1. That big sack, that was the best moment in my opinion. That when he caught up with Jared Goff, I was like, oh, yeah, watching TV at home. That was awesome. But my worst moment was I know ties are always going to be in football. I still hate that, especially that tie in Dallas. That was like the worst moment in my opinion. But everyone's entitled to their opinion about that.
Yeah.
If I thought Matt LaFleur would have went for the win on that, but he decided to have Brandon McManus kick that field goal to end the game in that tie in overtime, which I thought was ridiculous, but it is what it is.
That's an interesting point, Levi. Thanks for the call.
That tie is what got the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs.
It got them in the playoffs.
Exactly.
But you talked about the Cleveland loss being up. I don't agree that the Cleveland loss is in the same conversation as the Bears playoff loss, but it's setting the tone for the season. The Cleveland loss, okay, you get humbled after those 10 days off after that Commanders Thursday night game and losing Cleveland after you got Rasheed Walker talking about running the table undefeated for the whole season. You go to Dallas, primetime Micah Parsons revenge game, and they play for the tie at the end. Did that set a tone then for what the next couple of weeks ended up being? And did that have any impact on the trajectory of the season?
No, I think obviously the defense stunk that night. Dak and everybody was on point. The clock management and how they handled it was brutal. I can agree with you on that. But no, it wasn't as if I don't know exactly how that all shook out. But, no, getting that tie, you'd much rather, if you lose that game, you probably don't make the playoffs. Now, is that good or bad if you're going to get knocked out in the first round? I always want in. Always get me in the tournament. They found a way to get in because they tied. I didn't think that was as bad of a moment as maybe Levi did.
Chris in the YouTube comments, he's not specifically saying this was the best moment, but there's a discourse here about first half and second half performances. Chris says they were awful in the second half, good in the first half, every game except for the Pittsburgh game against Aaron Rodgers when we were terrible in the first half and dynamite in the second half. That's an overlooked performance, I think, that the Packers came back and beat Aaron Rodgers that night.
Yeah, it was a big boy win, and I thought important for Jordan because it you could say all the right things, but it matters more. It's a narrative shaper. That Jordan was able to do what he did in the 20 straight completions and all the things that he was able to do that night. Again, it's just the grand scheme and the overarching thing. You want to beat Aaron Rodgers, no doubt. But those moments are nice. They're not it's just not big. It's a nice moment in a season. And you have a nice moment, you're a playoff team. That's not good enough here. And unfortunately, and I think it's interesting you bring that point up. I can't remember who.
Chris on the YouTube comments, yeah.
Chris, how many games have we really played that have been 4 quarters? I would venture to say that if I'm Matt LaFleur, I'm putting up signs, finish. You can't continue to play 2.5 quarters of football and be as Jekyll and Hyde-ish as this group has been really over 2 seasons. I said all last season, what is the one complete ball game that we've played? I was having a hard time finding it last year, and now that I'm looking at it, early in the season I thought we were good. There was moments that, the first 2 games you felt like pretty thorough whooping.
Yeah, the first Detroit game, the Lions made a little run in the fourth quarter. We forget about that. That was one of our negatives from that first game.
Sure. But defensively, I thought that we didn't play a great second half of football.
No.
My point is, in unison as a team, one of the big questions and points that I've made is this group doesn't have that killer instinct, and you don't step on throats. When you don't do that, you leave yourself vulnerable to a bad call, to maybe a penalty that beats you, a blocked kick. When you don't put teams away, unless you're kind of riding that wave like I think the Bears did this year, you find ways to lose games that gives you a worse seeding. And as I said all year, I'm going to be pulling for both 1 seeds so that my theory is finally proven correct, that this is indeed the most important 1 seeds in the history of the NFL, because it is really difficult. I am very fascinated to watch the Rams. 7 out of their last 9 games have been on the road. Do they have enough gas left in the tank after 2 hard-fought playoff games to go fly and go do another one in a tough environment? If they do, tip the cap. I'm guessing that they're not going to have enough gas in the tank, because having to go through that gauntlet, you only have so much emotional capital as a football team. Do you have enough reserves to get by a team that's full of emotional capital? They didn't have to spend much in the San Fran game. That is the big question mark to me about this championship weekend.
Plenty more responses still coming in everywhere you can get into the show, including the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line at 844-770-3776. The best, and if you want to go down that road, the worst moments of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season. Want to talk a little bit about that Thanksgiving game and a few other responses that I'm seeing coming in. We'll get to those coming up next. But first, Tausch, tell us about that old rascal Bucky and UW Credit Union.
Well, for every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They help you reach your financial goals. And I'll tell you what, I've been going to a lot of Badger Hoops games. I'm going to be going Sunday. I love when they bring out that T-shirt gun. UW Credit Union is there. They're out in the community doing all kinds of great stuff. And They have great service. They got great perks. You don't have to worry about all these expiration dates on their perks. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you can't pay with anything else. Fandom will make you do crazy things, but boy, this makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member today. Get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
More of your responses, the best and worst moments of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season coming up next. Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
4 years. That's enough time to earn a college degree, to serve a full term as a president, to train for something big and become someone new.
You bet, and get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, so you can invest in your home and in life's biggest moments. With exclusive features and customizations, Pella offers the highest quality products at a price you can afford.
Aim high when setting your New Year's resolution and imagine what you can do in 4 years when you finance your home project with Pella. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. If you're still working on your New Year's resolutions, right now, congrats! You've officially made it past Quitter's Day. More than 70% of people give up by now, so take your win. Iron Jock wants to reward you. From now through January 27th, our listeners can get 30% off any Iron Jock purchase over $75 when you use promo code ESPN30. And you also score a free 3-pack of Iron Jock socks at $25 value. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news, a rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS caused by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $152,000 in taxes because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a clear plan and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it, we help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait, call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
What's better than cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand? Cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand that you got for 10% off. And when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank, you get even more. Like 10% off food and 10% off drinks on game day. Like that ice-cold beer in your hand. Plus 15% off Pro Shop gear. Only with Packers checking. Associated Bank. Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Rock a big win this January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. Don't miss your chance to win a share of $60,000 in prizes every week. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Plus, your January drawing entries all roll into an even bigger prize drawing in March. Rock on all month long. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
So
don't want nothing, but you look better on me. You look better on me. Let me show you something.
Everyone's favorite royalty-free music, bringing us back in. Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Riley Yauk is our producer for the Barry Alvarez show all season long on ESPN Madison. He played this one in the season finale on Monday night or Tuesday night, and Barry Alvarez was dancing along to this one, Tausch. So
That's a good tune.
You say, yeah, this is a good one. Still taking your reactions and your responses, best and worst moments of the 2025 Green Bay Packers season. And I'm seeing a lot, especially in the YouTube comments, talking about Thanksgiving Day in Detroit. Here's what I want to position for you, Tausch. Over the last 3 seasons, since Jordan Love took over as the starting quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, regular season, let's exclude the Cowboys playoff game and the first half against San Francisco in the divisional round. Are the 2 Thanksgiving days in Detroit the best games of Jordan Love's regular season careers?
No, the New Orleans comeback, I think you'd add right into that when I think they were down 18-0 and they came back and won. That would be right up there. Obviously, this year's game where he made the big throw and Wicks made the big boy catch. The game last year, Thanksgiving, no doubt both big wins. But I think anytime you're a young player trying to get that respect and earn your stripes in this league, you have to have some moments that give clarity to your teammates and to your fan base and to yourself that you are the guy. I felt like that moment in that game, it went from a lethargic, almost booing and like, what do we have here, to, okay, I think we might have something. I thought that was a really important moment in Jordan Love's career.
I agree, and I wasn't in the game. I was watching it at one of the nearby establishments in Green Bay, and the electricity.
You weren't in the game.
We went up.
When were you in?
So Becca's family, we all got together. We all went
in
like
the stadium.
Yeah, we all went and tailgated in Green Bay. 2 of them went into the game. The rest of us stayed at one of the nearby establishments and watched the game. And then we all hung out afterward and went home after. And so watching the game. In a few-minute walk from Lambeau Field, you're still around a bunch of Packers fans. The environment is awesome, and you capture a little bit of that. It's not the same as being in the stadium, but a lot of that game environment translates to those nearby establishments, and you could feel the energy pick up as Jordan Love was leading that fourth-quarter comeback against the Saints. So I'm agreeing with you that was a big one. But when you look at what that Thanksgiving Day game against Detroit in 23 meant for the run ultimately to get into the playoffs so we could have that game against Dallas. And then you look at what you talked about putting 4 quarters together. I think the game that you could say they put the best 4 quarters together all season long this year was Thanksgiving Day in Detroit. That felt like the most complete game that the Packers played, and that was part of that winning streak that would have propelled them to a potential 1 seed if Micah Parsons doesn't go down in Denver. Now,
I would say offensively, I agree. My point is, you hear Luke Fickell and you hear every coach I've ever listened to talk about complementary football and the way you step on throats, which is something we all believe Green Bay needs to be better at, is it can't just be one side of the ball holding up its end and doing what they do for 4 quarters. It needs to be both. And if you want to look at the Bears' first game down in Chicago, offensively, they moved the ball, but they got stopped on a 4th down. They fumbled a snap. The defense played 55 or 56 great minutes of football, but the offense didn't do its part to step on a throat. And you leave yourself vulnerable to a fumbled onside kick. So while you can say, well, they did this, and that was great, it can't just be that one side of the football does it. And when you basically eliminate one full unit from making plays and doing things that are difference-making, which why I've been so hard on Bisaccia and the special teams is because they don't. They've only hurt us. Block kicks, block punt. And I know the block punt I'm thinking about is long ago, but those missed field goals, momentum changing, not having any semblance of a punt return. Seattle, 8 touchdowns this season, not by the offense. Green Bay, if Jason's fact-checking was correct yesterday, 0, and I don't even think anything close. The margin in the league is small. 8-0 with that. That's the difference between a 1 and a 7 seed big time, and that's why Seattle's still playing and why Seattle's got a really good chance to win a world championship this year.
One last comment before we close the book on this portion of the conversation. Jane just brought this up in the YouTube comments, and I don't think she intended it to come across this way, but this is how I'm reading what she's saying and then interpreting. I remember so many more great moments with Aaron Rodgers than I do with this season. Maybe it's because I see them on reruns. Is there something to be said about great moments not standing out over the last couple of seasons because of the play of Jordan Love and the offense compared to the Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers leading the offense?
I think that's a little bit misleading because the touchdown to Watson in the Bears game and to Bo Melton, there were some big plays but in the same respect, you get to the end of that game, you don't move the football, I think, against Chicago. You don't get it done. You need to do special things in the special moments. So I don't think it's fair to just put it on Jordan, because that same argument that Jane's making, people would say about Aaron Rodgers, the Tampa game, the San Fran game, these gut-wrenching losses that you saw in the playoffs. They literally would say the exact same thing. Well, Patrick Mahomes did it. Tom Brady stunk in the second half against the Green Bay Packers in that NFC Championship game. He stunk. But their defense was enough, and that was a god-awful first half that we played, and that led to Tampa being able to hold on. We have not figured out that formula yet. They got turnovers in that game. We got turnovers in that game. They cashed in. We didn't.
844-770-3776. You're going to want to know that phone number because right now it is time to play Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Cousin Subs and by Iron Jock. Caller, Hunter, what caller number would you like to take? We'll let you pick today. I want to be nice to you back there.
I've got that $8 million that Freddie Peralta was owed on my mind, so I think we go caller 8.
Caller 8. All right. You're still angry about the Brewers, I see. 844.
No, I'm cool with the Brewers.
770-3776. Caller 8 to play Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Cousin Subs and Iron Jock. Today's trivia category, I thought this was an appropriate theme today. Baby, it's cold outside. Questions about freezing cold things. It's kind of a loose category.
We got to get the Chippewa Falls.
Well, kind of. It's a smorgasbord of cold. Caller number 8, 844-770-3776. In honor of the cold temperatures, baby, it's cold outside. Today's trivia category, Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Cousin Subs and Iron Jock, is coming up next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Truth Nation, mark your calendars for Friday, February 20th, as we will be hosting our second annual Truth Community Awards, hosted by the legendary Home, Blow, and Bailey Combs. Tickets are on sale now. Visit 1017truthawards.com to learn more. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks, Gruber, Steinhoffel, Cousin Subs, and 3rd Street Market Hall. Come celebrate with us on Friday, February 20th at the Truth Community Awards from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Do not miss out on the best community awards event of the year.
As you know, I talk to you every Friday about the great things happening at Sendix. Well, this might be the biggest one yet. This year, Sendix is celebrating 100 years in business. The official anniversary is in April, but they're celebrating all year long to thank the customers and communities who've supported them since 1926. One way they're doing that is with the Centennial Item of the Week. Favorites you love at unbelievable prices. This week, you can get 2 24-packs of Sendix Spring Water for just $4. That's $2 per case. While you're there, check out the other great deals. Ground chuck for $4.99 a pound. Wild caught North Atlantic cod fillets for $5.99 a pound. And fresh strawberries, 2 for $5. And don't miss the Curd and Long event this weekend. Dozens of unique cheese curd flavors, Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4. So head to Sendix, grab the deals, eat some curds, and celebrate, because Sendix is your trusted local grocer.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Cudahy senior guard Anthony Brooks. Brooks delivered a historic week for the Packers on the court, helping Cudahy earn 2 wins and continue a strong start to the 2025-26 season. In a 110-78 victory over Random Lake, Brooks poured in 54 points, setting both the school record for points in a game and the program's single-game individual scoring record. The 110 points also marked the most scored by Cudahy in a game since the 1969-70 season. He followed up that performance by leading the Packers to a 65-64 win over South Milwaukee, scoring 29 points and hitting 4 clutch free throws late to secure Cudahy's first non-conference win since January of 2023. Congratulations to Anthony Brooks, your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Get ready for the ultimate freestyle experience. Monster Jam Freestyle Mania, presented by Spin Master. For the first time ever, Monster Jam trucks team up with freestyle motocross bikes to deliver gravity-defying skills and thrills. See one-of-a-kind FMX bikes designed to match your favorite iconic Monster Jam trucks. Cheer on your favorite team. 2 times the freestyle action, full sand family fun. Coming to Fiserv Forum January 31st and February 1st. Brought to you by BKD Tires. Visit monsterjam.com.
Kick off the new year with a smarter home and bigger savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. New windows to lock in the warmth, durable roofing, eye-catching siding, or a stunning bath makeover. Start the year off right and get $3,000 off your project. That's right, $3,000 back in your pocket during our New Year savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. This deal won't last all winter. Exterior Pros and Baths. New year, new home, done right.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch. Jason on assignment. He'll be back on Monday's show. Before we get to trivia, one nugget from the National Football League. ESPN's Adam Schefter sharing that former Indianapolis Colts and Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers, who returned to the NFL to play for the Colts this season, is interviewing for the Buffalo Bills head coach job.
Wow.
He's a high school football coach. The year of Phillip Rivers just continues to astound us. He is now interviewing for the Buffalo Bills head coach job after they fired Sean McDermott after losing in the divisional round of the playoffs. Tausch, your thoughts?
Buffalo's ownership is, I don't know what word I want to use, but the way that they handled this week and Sean McDermott and everything involved was complete. It just was. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And if they go ahead and hire Phillip Rivers, great. I don't think that's going to get them over the hump. Buffalo went from a team that I think a lot of people that didn't have a dog in the race were rooting for. I watched that owner and what he did, and I will not root for Buffalo again. Even though I like Josh Allen, I have some people I know that are in that organization. I want them to do well. That guy made it really hard to root for the Buffalo Bills.
I did not know that the Buffalo Bills were that much of a mess at the top of their organization, but it turns out here we are.
It's a great example. It's a great example of sometimes not saying anything. It's like a backup quarterback that never has to play. There's a little mystery about him. there's a reason that I think a lot of these owners don't talk to the media, even though their egos want them to. If I was old boy advising Pegula, he ain't ever getting in front of a microphone again.
Mm-hmm. Time now for trivia presented by Cousin Subs and Iron Jock.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Cousin Subs. Cousin Subs $10 deal meal gives you a 7.5-inch sub, bag of chips or regular fries, fountain drink, and a cookie, all for just $10. This deal is only available online or through the Cousins app. And Iron Jock, performance apparel that actually performs. No stink, just performance, and proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com.
Today's contestant, Tucker in Wausau. Good morning, Tucker, and I hear congratulations are in order for you. Would you like to tell us what that's all about?
Yeah, so I know how Wilde and Tausch Trivia loves the first-time callers. Well, I have a first-time caller in a sense because I am holding a 17-day-old daughter right here with me. I'm feeding her as I'm doing trivia.
Congratulations, Tucker. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. We were listening to the show up to the Bears playoff game in the NICU. She was in there for a couple days, but she's doing great. Mom is doing great, and she's settling down, and she's excited to help me out with trivia here. My low light of the season for the Packers is that my daughter has never witnessed a Packer victory in her life.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, it's going to be a little while.
Better days ahead, Tucker. Better days ahead.
I know.
Baby, it's cold outside is today's trivia category in honor of this crazy weather going on around the state of Wisconsin.
No,
and the
it's in honor of Tucker's baby. What are you talking about?
No, baby, it's cold outside. Sure. Yeah,
there you go.
I've heard it both ways. My favorite thing that's going on, it's very wholesome in the YouTube comments today. Everyone's just sharing what the temperature is outside in their respective communities. Tucker.
Any soup recipes? Can we get some soup recipes?
And we're still looking for the soup recipes. Start sharing those in the YouTube comments. Tucker, how cold is it outside in Wausau?
It was negative 24 when I did a Target run this morning.
That's normal temp, right? That's not feels like?
Yeah, that's what my truck said on the on the dash.
Holy smokes. All right. Well, it's cold. Go ahead, Tausch.
No, I was going to say, we were supposed to be playing hockey up in D.C. Everest today, and that got canceled because it's negative 24 with probably negative 50, I would think, feels like. So that's a bummer.
Would have been up in Tucker's region of the state. All right, Tucker, Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Cousin Subs and Iron Jock. Question number 1 is this. What is the name of the 2004 disaster movie starring Dennis Quaid and Jake Gyllenhaal, in which a scientist must brave the elements of a storm, sending the planet into a new ice age to save his son in New York City? Is that movie...
The Day After Tomorrow.
Ah, man, Tucker. You're right.
Why are you poo-pooing? We love when people preemptively answer.
Because I wanted to give the options. The Day After Tomorrow, Tomorrow Never Dies.
You wrote a funny quip.
Or The Day Ahead of Tomorrow in the Lost column. I thought was a pretty good line that I wanted to share with you. Thank you. Question number 2, Tucker. Now you can answer whenever you want. The temperature at which pure water freezes in 32 degrees. I'm sorry, I messed it up. Let me say it again. The temperature, I don't do this normally. The temperature at which pure water freezes is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which translates to how many degrees on the Celsius temperature scale?
0.
Didn't even need it. Nicely done. Tucker's got his cold down pat. That's 3 entries. We're going for a perfect 4 for 4 here if you can get question number 3. According to data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in 2024, that's the NOAA, Tausch, Alaska is the U.S. state with the lowest average temperature, as we would expect. Which state is second coldest on average?
Oh, I think I know this one.
Is it North Dakota, Maine, or Washington?
Oh.
I am going to go with North Dakota. Washington's a little temperate. It's like 50 there probably right now. It's just rainy. So I think North Dakota.
Tausch, your option wasn't on there. What were you going to say?
I was going to go Minnesota. I always think Minnesota is the second coldest.
The correct
answer. So I would go North Dakota.
Is North Dakota. Nicely done. Everybody's got it right. Tucker, you're 3 for 3. That means you've got all 4 entries in our drawing a little later in the show for our Iron Jock and Cousin Subs prize pack. Congratulations. You have never gotten a question in Wilde and Tausch trivia wrong since the birth of your daughter. Nicely done.
That's right. Hope to keep it that way in future contests.
Well done, Tucker. Congratulations.
Although the last
again.
time I won, I only got one right. I had one entry, I think, and I actually won the prize pack. So getting them right doesn't mean too much, as we've
that means
shown many times.
I wouldn't get your hopes up today then. Tucker, congratulations.
That's right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Bye. Love you guys. Bye. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Love Tucker. Congrats.
Yep, Tucker and Wausau.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
We
fun.
love hearing news like that from our fans. There's our Feel Good Friday vibes coming back here.
Yes.
Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today. Jason's on assignment. He'll be back on Monday. When we come back, we will start to look ahead. It is conference championship weekend. Is this the least juice there's ever been heading into a conference championship weekend?
No, don't be like that.
Stop it, Jesse.
We'll talk about it in 2 minutes. Stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is teeing off the new year with another can't-miss tournament and 1,000 in cash prizes up for grabs. Hey, ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellison, inviting you to a 2-man scramble at the legendary Kapalua Plantation course, all played on Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center's state-of-the-art simulators. Sign up now at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. It's just $120 per team, and you must get your round in by January 31st. Your chance to take on Kapalua Plantation course starts today.
People say buying a home in winter is tough.
But fewer buyers means less competition, and motivated sellers can mean better opportunities.
This is Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. When the perfect home appears, our team at Tony Wendorf & Associates helps you move fast, even during the snow.
Start your home journey today with our white glove service by simply searching online Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
At Big Fish Contracting, we want every home project to be a good story worth sharing. That's why we as a team aim to exceed your expectations. We can improve any aspect of your home. Everything from a complex remodel to the essential roof, gutters, siding, and windows. Integrity, humility, and kindness are why we've grown in southeastern Wisconsin for the last 2 decades. Visit BigFishContracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
Wisconsin is still cattle country. And that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today. I'm Jesse Nelson, normally the producer of the show. Today I'm the host of the show, Jason Wilde, on assignment. He will be back on Monday's show alongside the Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Hunter Vaughn, our cousin sub of the day, producing the show here in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison. We're going to talk about the conference championship games coming up here in just a minute because it is conference championship weekend. We've barely mentioned some of that throughout the course of this week with everything that's been going on. But I did want to mention this first. So earlier today on the show, Rob Demovsky, ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter, joined us. We were talking about all the different coordinators and some of the news going on around Green Bay, especially that defensive coordinator position that is open and interviews are ongoing. And Rob shared this with us earlier today in regards to Jim Leonhard's potential to return to the state of Wisconsin and become the Packers defensive coordinator.
Coordinators, and I don't think anything happens until he can talk to Jim Leonhard. I think Jim Leonhard's high on his list. He obviously can't talk to him. And I got to be honest with you, there's some debate about when they actually can talk to him if the Broncos win. I thought I was.
That's a portion of what Rob shared earlier with us today. You can find the full interview available on the ESPN Wisconsin app as well as the ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels. But that was pretty significant, Tausch, not only to us, but it's also picking up some traction on social media as we've seen the clip shared in a couple of different spots here throughout the course of the show. So again, your reaction when you heard Rob share that information with us during his appearance, what do you think it means for the outlook here for the Packers defensive coordinator spot and Jim Leonhard's potential to return?
It felt to me as if it's Jimmy Leonhard's job to lose if he wants it. That's how I interpret it. Now, whether or not that's accurate, that's my interpretation. But whether or not the reporting the first time around, Jimmy did take it, he didn't. He turned the job down. He wasn't offered it. Obviously, there was a ton of interest. Jimmy decided he was going to stay in college, stay closer to his family. And Rob's point, well, now he's out in Denver. His family's still here. What's closer? There's always a process. Jim obviously was probably pretty disappointed he didn't get that head coaching job at Wisconsin. He took a beat, and then he decided to get back into it, and Sean Payton put him as the assistant head coach. He is highly respected. He did a fantastic job as the defensive coordinator at the University of Wisconsin. I said he got the most out of that talent. He is a great schemer of what he can utilize his talent and find ways to create mismatches. He's from the Rex Ryan school, Mike Pettin school of pressure. Matt LaFleur, that is his school. That's what he wants. So he had interest 3 years ago. Why would he not have interest now? It would make a ton of sense. And the longer, and you brought this up, Jesse, the longer this goes on, he's had interviews. Al Harris has been in. Gannon's been in. If he isn't pulling the trigger on any of these guys, and it drags into next week, and the Broncos win, you get the sense, maybe, I don't know how this all works, when he can talk to Jimmy. Rob's initial thoughts made me think this is going to be his guy. And I couldn't be more excited if that is indeed what happens.
It's not often where you hear a name that's so familiar to the fan base and that actually ends up being the guy that gets hired. We've been down this road before. I mean, heck, we go down this road with trades and drafts and free agents and all this stuff. You find a name that you're familiar with, and you're like, oh, that'd be awesome to have that guy in town. I want him. And then it ends up being some guy you've never heard of before or know very little about. This feels different just based on the way that Jason has talked about it, the way that Rob has talked about it, and the way that no one's denying anything on this front at this point. So I think let's find out what happens with the Broncos this week. I hope that they lose now on Sunday, as much as I'd love to see Jim Leonhard have a chance to go win a Super Bowl with the Broncos. Kind of hope they lose so that this thing gets moving a little faster for us. And let's see what goes on. If he ends up coming in for an interview, and we'll go from there. But it would be awful exciting for a lot of Wisconsin fans of all the different sports in this state if Jim Leonhard were to be in prime contention, as it sounds like he may be, to become the next Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator. Speaking of the conference championship games, I think this is the least juice I can remember there being for a conference championship weekend. All right. Hold the phone on the buzzer, Hunter. We'll get there. You got Seahawks, Rams, West Coast, best coast. And then you got Broncos, Patriots, who are like Jared Stidham and Drake May are going at it. Sean Payton and Mike Vrabel, I guess they're kind of proven head coaches. Like, that just no one knows anything about the Seahawks. Pretty much the amount of Seahawks football everybody around here has watched was mostly last week against the 49ers on Saturday night. The Rams have Devontae Adams and Matthew Stafford, and there's kind of a fun story there. But overall, like, there's no Mahomes, there's no Brady, there's no true villain in this group that you're cheering against, and there's no true underdog that you're really pulling for either. I just think this is a really lackluster conference championship Final Four that we're looking at here for the NFL playoffs this weekend.
There's no true underdog. You have a quarterback playing his first game of the season. He hasn't played a game in 800 days. What the hell are you talking about? There's no true underdog. This is Disney stuff. This guy comes out and plays a great game and wins. Sam Darnold's been cast aside by every team he can imagine. Matthew Stafford's trying to solidify himself as one of the all-time greats by getting a second Super Bowl and winning the MVP. And then the Patriots, oh, God, they're back. Like, there's storylines everywhere here. I don't understand what the hell you're talking about.
These teams in particular, I think sports are best when you have a true villain to root against. The Kansas City Chiefs or the New England Patriots dynasties became those villains. The Miami Heat with LeBron James became the villain. Kentucky with John Calipari in the NCAA tournament, or Duke with Coach K. Good villains. There's no villain in this group. The Patriots, Mr. Kraft, are they supposed to be the villain of this group? Is Sean Payton supposed to be the villain of this group? He can't be if he's the lovable underdog with the starting quarterback that's in the Disney movie for the first time this weekend. The Rams are obviously not the villain. Like, Devontae Adams, we're kind of pulling for him and Stafford to go and win one.
Well, you're changing the narrative, man. No, you said there's no juice and there's no interest. I just gave you there's 100 storylines.
I mean, because it's the NFL playoffs, I'm going to watch it, but do I feel passionate about cheering for any team in particular or against any team in particular? And for that reason, do I think the storylines are lessened compared to past seasons? Absolutely, I do. Hunter?
So I think your problem here, Jesse, is actually the fact that you regularly have had a rooting interest because the Packers go deep enough in the playoffs where the team that just beat them in the divisional round is then playing the next week. So you have that, or the Packers are playing in the NFC Championship. As a fan of the Cowboys and a franchise that I haven't seen them play in an NFC Championship game in over 30 years now, it will be, you just got to enjoy the ball this weekend. Having zero rooting interest in any of the teams, just go out there and watch football and enjoy it. Don't worry about storylines. Don't worry about any of that. Just go and enjoy it. You haven't experienced enough meaningless football in your life to know what a weekend like this is, and that's why you feel this way.
I suppose.
Yeah, Jesse.
I suppose you are uniquely qualified to share that advice with me. I appreciate that.
I've had 30 years of it.
Last year you had Chiefs-Bills, Mahomes versus Josh Allen. That was juicy. You had the divisional matchup, Eagles-Commanders, with the Commanders being this out-of-nowhere Jaden Daniels rookie season against the Eagles, who were starting to try what we thought to build was a bit of a dynasty there with Jalen Hurts. Like, there were other storylines last year and even this past number. I mean, this is the first time in forever that Mahomes or Brady are not in the AFC Championship game. Like,
Tom Brady hasn't played in 4 years.
That's my point. Look how long it's been that where there has been a dynasty quarterback, an all-time great, playing on conference championship weekend, and the best quarterback we're looking at this weekend is Matthew
Stafford can elevate himself with another big playoff run to put himself in that category.
Not the Mahomes and Brady category. Not like
he will elevate if he wins a second championship. He elevates himself in the all-time list. He does. You could make an argument
him up above
right
Favre
now
if he gets a second ring.
Favre and Rodgers, while talent-wise would be this thing is about pelts. And if Matthew Stafford wins the MVP this year, which he's probably going to, even though Christian McCaffrey should have, and goes and wins a championship and an MVP, Matthew Stafford will be viewed by some as better than Favre and Rodgers. Those are the facts. That's the importance of winning in the postseason. Whether or not I agree with that, I wouldn't. but there will be some that do. And when you're talking about all-time greats, Stafford pulls this off, he will be considered in the all-time great category. Those are the facts.
I think there's a worthwhile conversation that we may look to have when Jason returns to the show about the legacy of Matthew Stafford, should the Rams beat the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game this weekend. We did post a poll this morning, by the way, at Wilde and Tausch on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. With the Packers eliminated, which team remaining are you pulling for to win the Super Bowl? Have you seen the returns on this poll yet, Tausch?
I have not. I would assume.
You want to guess?
I would assume there is a lot of affinity for Devontae J. Adams, and there should be. He was one of the all-time great wideouts in Green Bay Packer history. I would think that since we don't have another dog in the fight and the Bears are out of it, I would think people would be pulling for Devontae.
You would be correct. 61% of our fans on Twitter voting for the Los Angeles Rams as the team they want to see win the Super Bowl. The Seattle Seahawks at 23% of the vote in second place in this poll, which I thought was interesting. 11% for Denver and only 6% for New England.
I think we're all sick of New England. Their horrible stretch ends up lasting 3 or 4 years. And people are like, come on.
I've completely turned the page on New England. I view them as an underdog, and this is an entirely different franchise from when Brady and Belichick were there. I don't think of them the same at all.
I don't need to see them win. I would say they'd be fourth on my list, too. And I like Mike Vrabel a lot. I think he's an awesome coach. I think he's a good dude. But no. And Elliott Wolf's up there. You know what? The Wolf factor, I got to change that. I am a big fan. Obviously, I love Ron Wolf. I'm a big fan of Elliott, so I gotta flip that. I can't be mad at New England.
So okay,
new group.
Tell me, Nostra Tausch, who will be the winners this weekend that will be contending for the Super Bowl in Santa Clara?
It's going to be Seattle and it's going to be Denver. It's the year of the 1 seed, and it's the year I think Stidham. I just think that Sean Payton will have a plan. And the story's too juicy to not come to fruition. That's what I think happens.
You think we get Jared Stidham versus Sam Darnold in Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara?
That is what I think happens. Yes, indeed.
Wow. All right. Well, conference championship weekend is coming up, and that means we also will want to get to our prize picks of the weekend because, as some are pointing out, you can always win some money on the games this weekend. That's one way to keep them interesting if you feel like there's not enough juice. So we'll try to do that coming up next. Plus, there's a special promotion going on in prize picks this weekend that we got to make sure we take advantage of. Our prize picks of the week for conference championship weekend coming up next. It's Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch,
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All the antics.
The reason he's not running the ball real well this year is because his pants are way too high. Do you see him pull his pants up? Check it out.
All the action.
The honeymoon phase is over. Did we forget that he lost 5 games at the end of the season? I can't forget, and I don't know how to move forward.
The best of both worlds lives right here. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin App, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Your taste buds are in luck. The Reuben is back at Cousin Subs. Try this classic sub grilled to order just for you. Stacked with corned beef, Wisconsin Swiss cheese, and sauerkraut topped with Thousand Island dressing and served on rye bread. And our delicious mint shake is back. Both the Reuben and mint shake can be ordered via the Cousins app or online for a limited time only. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Kick off the new year with a smarter home and bigger savings with exterior pros and baths. New windows to lock in the warmth, durable roofing, eye-catching siding, or a stunning bath makeover. Start the year off right and get $3,000 off your project. That's right, $3,000 back in your pocket during our New Year savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. This deal won't last all winter. Exterior pros and baths. New year, new home, done right.
Grab the dial and crank it up, baby, because Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is spinning its Winning Hits collection. Over the next 3 months, you could win a share of over $1 million in prizes. On top of thousands in cash and reward play, you could win one of 3 new Ford vehicles in the grand finale drawings on March 27th. Just play with your rewards card to earn entries. Press play on the Winning Hits collection, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
4 years. That's enough time to earn a college degree, to serve a full term as a president, to train for something big and become someone new.
You bet, and get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, so you can invest in your home and in life's biggest moments. With exclusive features and customizations, Pella offers the highest quality products at a price you can afford.
Aim high when setting your New Year's resolution and imagine what you can do in 4 years when you finance your home project with Pella. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. Happy New Year. Hopefully you enjoyed the holidays and spent time relaxing. Now it's tax time. I know, it's not the most wonderful time of the year, wondering if you are getting a refund or money to the IRS or to the state, waiting for all the forms to come and wondering what is deductible. Control the situation instead of letting it control you. Let us help you understand all the new tax laws, how they affect you, and how to take advantage of them. Last year, we helped Janet and Norm go from owing $43,000 to getting a $500 refund. We can help you too. The first meeting is free. Call now, 414-325-2040, or visit nealgroup.net. You earned it. We help you keep it. That's 414-325-2040 or nealgroup.net.
Don't miss a full day of nonstop basketball action at the Deer District Prep Showcase Saturday, January 24th at Fiserv Forum. See the next generation of stars as 12 elite high school boys basketball teams take over the court for 6 can't-miss games. Watch Slinger, Freedom, Arrowhead, West Dallas Central, Racine Lutheran, and more all in one place. General admission is just $20, and that gets you access to all 6 games. Check the full schedule and grab your tickets now at FiservForum.com. Be there. Feel the energy. The Deer District Prep Showcase Saturday, January 24th.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Jason will be back on Monday reacting to the results of Conference Championship Weekend. We look ahead to Conference Championship Weekend with our prize picks of the week. And there is a nice one on the board for us, Tausch. 0.5 passing yards in a special discount for Seattle Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold. 0.5 passing yards for... I'm trying to think of what we call him for seeing ghosts, and I can't come up with a good
Casper
nickname. Yeah, Casper Darnold. That's not bad. We can work with that. So we got to take advantage of that one for sure this weekend. And now we'll see what else we want to play. I came up with a few.
Well, he's got that oblique. You never know,
it's
right?
true.
But yeah, you feel good about that. It's always, and I don't know how your approach is on prize picks. Do you then just take the gimme, with you do something else, or do you try to really parlay it?
Homer taught me this one a while back. What you can do, because I think it's however much you can use. You can, like, if it's a $10 max,
like $6.
You can take the guaranteed win and pair that up with one win and one loss, like the same projection on another one, no matter what you're going to win it then, assuming he throws for 1 passing yard. Or you can put that into a larger play and you get a guaranteed, 1 out of 5 or 6, and then if you can hit the other ones you feel pretty good about, then you got a big payday coming your way. So I've done both.
You don't play for ties.
All right. Well,
you do that, you might as well not even play.
I feel pretty good about the list that I've put together for what I want to pick this week, and I want to see if you agree with me on some of these. So let's go. Jared Stidham, your guy, Disney movie. More or less than 199.5 passing yards against the New England Patriots defense on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm not touching Stidham with that. I mean, I think Sean Payton's going to really work the run game and some play action. They're going to lean on playing possession, good defense, and I think looking at the Patriots, they have to look at this game and play very conservative too, because Denver's pass rush is really good. New England's having a hard time protecting Drake May. He's turning the ball over. He's getting stracked. I think that's going to be the formula. So if I had a pick, I would go less, but I think Stidham's going to play good football, solid, not make mistakes. And with their O-line being able to kind of, I think, hold up against New England, I think he's going to have opportunities. But that number is about right where I would expect him to be, and that's why I don't feel great about it.
I see that being a very low-scoring, very quick
I do
game.
too.
A lot of running the football, long possessions. I could see that being how this game plays out on Sunday. Hunter, feel free to chime in here, too, if you feel any particular way on any of these.
Yeah, this game feels like a bit throwback to the Big Ten West type of game.
Yeah.
It's going to be gross. We're going to see a lot of punting, I think. I don't think Stidham gets there. I think Drake May also struggles, too, in this game. But, yeah, I don't think Stidham gets over 199.5.
So with that in mind, I had Ramondre Stevenson more than 48.5 rushing yards. I like that. Henderson has kind of become more of their guy as the season's gone on, but Ramondre Stevenson in a grinded-out game, 48.5 is not that much. Even though Denver's defense is good, I like him getting over that number. How about you, Tausch?
Yeah, I get along on that. I think, as we just said, I think this is going to be a ground and pound and give opportunities. And he's kind of gotten over the hump on his fumbles. That was the big problem with him early in the season. Give him some opportunities, and all it takes is one big run. But it does feel like both teams are going to be very methodical, especially the road team with the crowd noise and with some of the problems they're having protecting their quarterback. I would expect a lot of opportunities in the run game, and 48, and you can get there. So, yeah, I would go more on him as well.
All right, let's go to the NFC Championship game. Matthew Stafford, more or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's hit more on 1.5 passing touchdowns in each of his last 5 games, including 2 playoff games against Carolina and the Bears. I like more, even though Seattle's defense is pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, I like more, too. They're going to have to throw it. I don't think they're going to have a ton of success running the football against them. And you're trying to elevate yourself to that next level. You have Puka, who I don't think anybody can really stop, and Devontae's healthy. I feel like Sean McVay is going to have some stuff, and I think it's going to be leaning on his Hall of Fame quarterback to get it done, and I think they're going to lean on it. And with Devontae being as good in the red zone as he is, I think 2 touchdowns is definitely doable.
Hunter, make it 3 for 3?
Yeah,
All
I don't know how, the Rams are going to move the ball through the air if they're going to move the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, so it just feels like that's one where they're like, okay, well, we'll give you this one, but we're not going to say that we're giving you this one.
Devontae Adams was pretty limited against the Bears. He only had 24 yards against Chicago last weekend. His projections at 4.
What a play on that catch, though.
Incredible catch on the sideline. 49.5 receiving yards for Devontae Adams. You want to go with the former Packers receiver?
Yes. Yeah, I think
like that.
Because if I'm Seattle, I'm looking at it and I'm going to say I can't let Puka, even though Puka's going to get his, you have to look around, and I think when push comes to shove, Devontae, in a big boy game like this, he's going to want to shine. I just trust Devontae Adams.
I might even like this one better. Devontae, 0.5 rushing receiving touchdowns, has the little ghoulie guy next to it, which means you get increased odds on that one. I like Devontae to score a touchdown against Seattle on Sunday
I
night.
do, too.
So
I like that a lot.
I think I might hop on with that
I like
one.
that one a lot more than even the yards.
Okay, well, we're in agreement there then. He is dealing with a hamstring injury, but I like him getting into the end zone. All right, any other projections? Those are the ones that I like this weekend, Tausch. Anyone else that you feel strongly one way or another about?
Yeah, what is Stafford's passing yards? Because I think Stafford's going to have a day throwing the football. What is his number throwing?
255.5, which he has gone more on each of his last 5 games.
Yeah, I'm going more there. I feel I feel like this is, especially if Seattle gets out to a lead, they're going to have to do that, and I think it's going to be a really good football game. And I think Stafford's going to have to lead the charge on that. So I like more. What I think I'm going to do on my prize picks this week, I'm obviously going to take the Darnold. I'm going to take Stafford more on yards, and I think I'm going to go with Devontae more than 0.5 touchdowns. I'm going to put those 3. I usually like sticking with 3. That's what I'm going to ride with this weekend.
All right. I'll ride with you. Conference championship weekend just got a whole lot more exciting, and it is in large part thanks to Prize Picks.
Indeed, Prize Picks is the easiest way to play daily fantasy. You build your lineup in under 60 seconds. It just took us 4 minutes. We went through all of the opportunities that you have, and there are a ton on Prize Picks. We're going more on Stafford, yards passing. The freebie, again, if you've been hesitant, I don't know. Use the promo code WI. Get on, download the Prize Picks app. They're giving you $50. You just play that $5 lineup. If you want to go with just 2 and you think Devontae's going to score a tutter, Sam Darnold 0.5, check. Devontae gets a tutter, boom, you get that, and you get another $50 in your account. Plus you win. Again, use that code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good
to be right. I don't normally fill that role here. By the way, you sign up today, you play $5, you get the $50 instantly, you have the Darnold option to play this weekend, and 40% boost on a flex play today because it's Flex Friday. Just opted into that promo on my Prize Picks as we were reviewing the different options.
Now, is that only for Fridays action?
No, you can do any. So we could do the games we just picked on Sunday. We could do those projections, and you could opt in today. And as long as you enter today, you get that 40% flex boost.
Okay, so you're telling me the deadline is today. You bid it in. You don't have to fly by today. You can actually fly later. That's what you're telling me.
That is what I'm telling you, yes.
So really, the only place that the deadline, the only place the deadline isn't the deadline is on airlines. That is what I'm learning from today's thing on Prize Picks.
Well, if you had a restaurant gift certificate and it was due by January 31st and you called to book a reservation for dinner on February 3rd to pay with your gift certificate, I'm sure they would say, no, that doesn't count. That's expired.
Not if they're a good business, they won't.
Won't Ellie featuring Hunter Vaughn is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Kessler's has diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers.
When you see the size of the diamond you can afford when you look at our high-tech newborn created diamonds,
you're going to be happy, happy, happy.
And with approved credit, our financing plans make anything possible.
Our selection of engagement rings is beyond compare.
And our custom design department can modify any ring in any way you choose.
Anyone who says they can give you a better ring,
or a better diamond,
or a better price,
has never been to Kessler's.
And our miraculous no small print warranty says,
if you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
Yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate,
we've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Matrix Basements.
Marquette pulled off a wild one at Fiserv Forum, beating Providence 105-104 in overtime thanks to a career night from Nigel James Jr., who dropped in 38 points and dished out 8 assists in a gutsy performance. Head coach Shaka Smart proud of his freshman point guard.
He did just a really good job playing with poise, and it is not easy when you're playing almost 42 minutes. We're asking you to guard, and I just thought he got stronger as the game went on, which is rare for a freshman.
The Golden Eagles improved to 7-13 overall and 2-7 in Big East play, snapping a 3-game skid and getting balanced offense from 5 double-digit scorers. Up next, Marquette hits the road Friday night to face Butler, looking to build on this dramatic win.
This has been the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Matrix Basements. Visit gomarquette.com/matrix to enter to win 4 tickets to National Marquette Day Saturday, February 7th, when Marquette hosts Butler.
Selling your home during winter may surprise you. Serious buyers are still out there and often more eager to move.
Homes get strong offers this time of year, and with less competition, your listing can really shine.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. Our team leads with faith, gratitude, and giving back, donating over $200,000 to local causes since 2020.
Tony Wendorf & Associates is ready to get to work for you with our white glove selling experience. Just search online, Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Jason on assignment. He will return on Monday. Hunter Vaughn is in as our cousin sub of the day producing the show. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Speaking of cousin subs and Iron Jock, it is time now to draw our trivia winner for the week before we get to Whoa Nelly with Hunter Vaughn. Hunter has the honors of pulling from the cheese fry helmet. It's a good sound even on this end of things when I'm not the one drawing it. All right, Hunter, who we have?
Our winner this week, the new dad, Tucker in Wausau.
Today's contestant, Tucker in Wausau. A perfect day, a new father, and a winner of a prize pack from Cousin Subs and Iron Jock. Congratulations to Tucker in Wausau. Time now to turn it over to Hunter Vaughn. It's time for Whoa Hunter.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
So, Tausch, I know things have started to look good around the Badger basketball team. They got a big win over Penn State, or they won large. I mean, Penn State's not very good. But a tweet that I saw this morning from Nick Osen of 247 Sports, citing Bart Torvik, Wisconsin is the most efficient offense in the nation this month and has been a top 12 team overall since the calendar turned to 2026.
Oh, God.
Wisconsin, 5-1 in that stretch.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there yet.
Oh, boy.
I was at the Purdue game. That was, I think, right after the New Year. That's the one
That was
loss
January
in
3rd,
January.
Yeah.
And it was ugly. And you started wondering, but the thing you love about Greg Gard, he just sticks with things, and it's not just, we got these guys. You have to continue to tinker and find rotations that work and get that development. And with Boyd kind of popping and then different guys stepping up, you got your two horses that need to be your guys, and then you need to find those other guys to fill roles. It feels like Gardo's getting a really good hand on what kind of team he has. They're big. If this keeps rolling, I wouldn't be shocked by mid-February.
Oh,
Where's the Final Four at this year?
I don't know.
Where's the Final Four
I'll
at this
have
year?
to take a look.
I think it's Indy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
And if that is the case,
I think you're right.
I will be jumping on that bandwagon full tilt.
Did you see some of these stats from last night's game, by the way? The win against Penn State on the road?
No, Nolan Winter had a double-double, though.
God-awful.
I mean, I know they're awful, but Wisconsin's 27-point win, the team's largest Big Ten road win under Greg Gard, and matched the program's sixth largest in the NCAA tournament era since 1938.
Wow.
And then I got another one for you. Wisconsin's 98 points that they scored last night against Penn State, the most in a Big Ten road game since a 104-98 loss at Minnesota in 1971.
Oh, my goodness.
1938, 1971 stats are coming out here. That's what we're looking at offensively for the Wisconsin Badgers.
It's feeling good.
The vibes are strong, man. And I think we all want everything to always just go swimmingly. And you start understanding, especially now, both in football and basketball, and even in volleyball to a certain extent, you have to give some time for these players to figure out their role, to get comfortable, because it's not as easy as just accumulating a bunch of talent and saying, go win. Like, there is always going to be a process that you have to figure out what you're good at, how your team comes together, and then what the rotations will be and how that you're going to fit into that. It's just a different era, and I think Greg Gard has really done a good job of figuring that out.
Whoa, Nelly!
We're going to go to the baseball world, and not because of any trades that the Brewers made, but it's a sad day in New York. The director of the New York Mets TV broadcasts announced he is stepping away. Now, the reason that matters, for those of you watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, I've got a picture up here. On the right is one of his shots. He recreated an image from Planet of the Apes during a broadcast. He's known for these incredibly artistic shots in the downtime of a baseball game, literally recreating things from like the Clint Eastwood westerns. And he announced that he is going to be stepping away. So, unfortunately, the Mets broadcasts won't look as good anymore.
What?
What?
Huh?
Who cares?
I don't
I
understand.
care. I think this is... I loved being able to see the screenshots of the different crazy things he
Mets
did.
broadcasts? Like, how many Mets broadcasts are you watching?
I liked seeing they would literally...
How did you even know about it? Like, are you a Brewers fan, right? Or am I crazy? Are you a Mets fan?
But people were tweeting about these shots and these images that they were putting together in the middle of a broadcast. It looked like a movie because he was recreating stuff from other movies to put within their broadcast.
I'm doing something from a movie. Go get me a volleyball. I'm going to put a volleyball in front of you. I'm recreating Forrest Gump or whatever that movie is with Tom Hanks.
Whoa,
what the hell are you talking about?
You guys are lame.
They're going to screen
You guys
through.
are
All of a
lame.
sudden, you're looking through nylon mesh, and you're saying that's Clint Eastwood?
No, that image wasn't. The one going through the glasses, that's just How many other? If you're watching a baseball game, you're telling me that they're doing stuff like that where the batter is in focus through someone's glasses?
I don't want to see that when I'm watching a baseball game. I think.
Can I just watch baseball?
I think this guy's doing too much. He's trying to be like this.
Oh, you're right.
Academy
With all the
Award.
action in a baseball game, heaven forbid you make it visually interesting when
Why
they're
don't
just
you go to an art
standing there.
museum? Hey, why don't you go to an art museum? If you want art, go to it. It's great. Art's awesome. But that?
So why can't you insert art into sports then?
Because it does.
Well, why don't we take a baseball into the Louvre and play catch?
If it's art, then great.
No, I'm serious.
You can mix art
Jesse,
into your
run
life.
a slant pattern by the Mona Lisa.
No,
and if you don't catch it, you're going to break the dang painting. Like, what? Not everything needs to be a mashup. We don't need to mash everything up.
You need to culture yourselves more. We should have more art in
culture
sports.
yourselves more.
Yeah, culture yourselves.
Sure. Yep.
I'm right here.
Let's use this lens.
You're right
for the
that we
scene.
need more mashups.
Yep.
Yep.
Get
Hey,
more
run
art
the
in your
curl
life.
out by the Rodin statue over there. If you drop it, you break the leg off. No big deal. What the hell are you talking about?
Let's film from this perspective using this technique I learned in director school, and then let's run a 3 technique.
Sounds to me like this guy wanted to be a movie director and he ended up having to direct the Mets. And he's trying to make the best of it. That's
And
what
he
it sounds
did,
like.
and it was gorgeous, and it was incredibly entertaining.
That is gorgeous.
There's
That's
nothing
great
gorgeous
stuff.
about either of those shots. I'm thinking, hey, there's something in the way. Show me.
I'm wondering, why is there a horse walking the shores of it looks like some type of ocean at a Mets game? Was it Gus the donkey, the kicking donkey? Look at that. There's a horse walking there right next to. So is half of the field at
No.
now,
He
doesn't get
here,
it.
Hunter, this could be something.
No, Tausch,
Have an ocean
hang on.
as part of left field, and you have to catch it and dive
No.
in, and then you put synchronized swimming as part of baseball. Because you can't just be baseball, you got to add other sports to it.
No.
God forbid the offense isn't interesting.
God forbid you just
This
go
is
watch a
just an
baseball game
example.
when you
You're
want to
not
watch a
letting me
baseball
talk.
game.
I'm done.
Go ahead, Hunter. Don't be a baby. Finish your point.
Oh, don't be a baby.
Don't be a
we
baby.
didn't start with you complaining about an airline at all today. This image is just an example of him recreating the shot using the Statue of Liberty for the broadcast. That's all it is. He wasn't putting that on the TV broadcast. That was someone else putting it on there. I think you guys just need to culture yourselves.
Just wait a second. He didn't even put that on the broadcast? That was somebody else putting it on his broadcast?
Oh, my God.
That was someone else showing the things he was doing. Like, they went through and, like, the different references he made in the broadcast to other movies.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a clue what the hell we just talked about. Like, so this guy is a baseball producer that wants to incorporate art into his
And
baseball
also
broadcast.
a fan of movies, yes. So he incorporated things from movies into the broadcasts.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Roll the credits.
Yeah, all I'm saying now is if we're all into mashing stuff up, I want to go into the Louvre and I want to throw passes right by the Mona Lisa because I want to have sports and art intertwined. That's what I'm looking for.
It looks like the YouTube chat's on my side, by the way.
It's pretty
I'm sure
split.
they are.
It's pretty
I'm
split.
sure they are.
Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints.
Well, I didn't realize Hunter didn't like baseball to this degree. He'd rather
I love
he
baseball.
needs something. It doesn't seem like it. You need everything else besides to entertain you.
No, I just
than a
understand
baseball
there's
game.
so much downtime, so why not do something interesting instead of the same old thing every single time? Heaven forbid we ever innovate, try to improve anything. You're Mr. Improve Things, Tausch, but I show you guys an example of improving things, and you lose your minds, and I'm somehow the villain.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
I want to have. So you think outfielders, because there's so much downtime, should start crocheting out in the outfield? Like, hey, I don't know when a ball's coming. I need to get in a little art, and I'm going to start crocheting different things.
Now
Is
you're
that
being
what you're saying?
No, you're being ridiculous just to make this argument.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Hunter, this is ridiculous. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Congrats to this dude on
By
his
the way,
retirement.
I am going to say this. That was a great Wonell. Not for the reasons Hunter probably thought going in. That was an entertaining Monelli.
Feel Good Friday rounds out the week next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family. For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
4 years. That's enough time to earn a college degree, to serve a full term as a president, to train for something big and become someone new.
You bet, and get 0% interest for 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, so you can invest in your home and in life's biggest moments. With exclusive features and customizations, Pella offers the highest quality products at a price you can afford.
Aim high when setting your New Year's resolution and imagine what you can do in 4 years when you finance your home project with Pella. Visit PellaWI.com today.
This is Monster Jam Freestyle Mania, presented by Spin Master. Monster Jam trucks team up with FMX bikes for the ultimate freestyle experience. The fun begins at the pit party, where you can meet the teams, get autographs, take pictures, and see the trucks and bikes up close. Get your pit party pass at monsterjam.com today. Must have valid event ticket to enter pit party. Restrictions may apply. Rules and activities are subject to change. Visit website for event details. Coming to Fiserv Forum January 31st and February 1st.
Grab the dial and crank it up, baby, because Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is spinning its Winning Hits collection. Over the next 3 months, you could win a share of over $1 million in prizes. On top of thousands in cash and reward play, you could win one of 3 new Ford vehicles in the grand finale drawings on March 27th. Just play with your rewards card to earn entries. Press play on the Winning Hits collection, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. Many lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call for your free consultation. 262-235-3980. 262-235-3980 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Now, we all experience daily struggles, and with so many concerns to be conscious of, breathing should not be one of them. Mark Tauscher here for Advent, and if you're like me and have had snoring issues, sinus problems, or difficulty breathing, then you'll want to meet the team at Advent. The team of Advent specialists have a few simple steps to help evaluate your individual limitations and get you back to breathing well. Since Advent addressed my snoring and nasal breathing issues, I feel great. I've never slept better, and my wife Sarah is incredibly appreciative. The team of Advent specialists listened to my struggles, found the best solution for me, and customized it to my needs. Take my word for it and go to adventknows.com to learn more about simple solutions to snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems. And schedule your appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Friday, wrapping up the week on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. I want to give a special shout out here during Feel Good Friday. You know, it takes way more than just us around here to make this whole thing work at ESPN Wisconsin. One of our great marketing consultants here at ESPN Madison, her last day is today. Holly Yupa, transitioning to a new role with our ESPN Los Angeles team. Today, her last day in Madison. She wanted to plan a big bar crawl after work today.
No.
That bar crawl is going to turn more into a bar post-up, perhaps, for a few of us. But Holly's been an incredible bright spot of energy and enthusiasm and passion, and she's just an incredible teammate that we have here at our ESPN Madison office. And we're going to miss her, but we wish her the best as she returns to her home state of California, with her last day being today to join our ESPN LA team. So shout out to Holly, and along with all the other members of our marketing consultant, our sales marketing teams here at ESPN Wisconsin. They're all fantastic people, and Holly in particular today in her last day in Madison. Congratulations to her on a great run here in Madison, returning to California. That's it for Feel Good Friday here on Wilde and Tausch. Tausch, how did we do today without Jason?
I thought it was a fun show. I thought Hunter was the highlight. Hunter's
Thank
Hunter
you.
was the highlight of the show.
It was an artistic show nonetheless. Next time you're in, Hunter, a little more,
Okay.
special camera shots and whatnot would be
Perfect.
appreciated in honor of the Mets director. Jason will return on Monday, as he always says. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Take care. Be good.
Tired of waking up exhausted? That dad bod weighing you down? Let's get you back to the old you. If your energy, focus, and drive aren't what they used to be, your hormones could be out of balance. At Mentality, we'll dig into what's really going on, then build a personalized, science-backed plan using hormone therapy and peptide treatments